And we are live. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so we left it at a choice.
Okay.
We left it.
Wait a moment, because for example, my Twitch doesn't let me see that it started.
My Twitch says we're live, so does Discord. Refresh yours.
Okay. Yeah, I'm flashing.
Refresh, because we are live. I promise you this.
Okay.
I
Sorry.
would not lie to
Okay,
you.
so
I am going to publish the Discord so people know that we are
okay,
live.
now it goes right.
Yep, you have to
Yes.
refresh because if you're staring at it, it won't actually show it's live. It doesn't reset itself.
Yeah, I had to go out the app and come back.
But there we go. Now, ads start in 30 seconds, and then we're back for 3 minutes for 1 whole hour, and then we do ads again. Good morning,
Yes.
Light Alchemist.
Good
I'm
morning.
probably going to see you tomorrow. So, but yeah,
Oh, wow.
so I don't remember now. That's the only problem with not having you last week is you remember more than I do. I I don't remember
Yeah,
what caused this choice. I think we got a threat last night, but so I'm not, and we have to decide if we're going to go for a walk or not.
I would stay home, because if you have a threat, it means like you're in danger.
Yeah, but at the same time, go for a
So
walk might get more information.
mm,
Staying home's
it's
not
more
going to do
like you
much.
want to risk your life or not.
I want information. I want to know
Yeah, but it's
who's trying to
still
kill
risking your
people.
life.
I don't know, but
Yeah,
oh, Val. By the way, this is
yeah.
not normal hot cocoa in my Kindness Matters mug. I found something. Light Alchemist might. I don't know if you like York peppermint patties, but look. York peppermint patty hot cocoa.
Mm.
I know.
Instead, I'm here drinking tea. I want chocolate too.
So now I have York peppermint patty in my mug. I'm going too far. I'm gonna go for a walk because staying home isn't
Okay.
gonna do much. He does across this. Oh, humans has got a lot of nice stuff. Oh, okay. Okay. Like
So
Alchemist
that's
does have the
Mitsu's
ad.
house.
Oh
Okay.
no, you got a sub, so
That,
you're not gonna see the ads. Go back. But yeah, look how nice that is with all the plants and stuff.
yeah.
That is nice. That's a lot of work. Our
Mm.
our district was striking eclectic, combining both traditional Japanese style and European mini manor houses like hers. Okay, he was
Yeah, that's kind of a mix.
okay. Himutsu was half Russian, but I don't think she wanted to live in an Ibiza. Don't know what that term
It's
is.
bad.
I would sometimes go to my grandparents' place when I was little. They had typical Russian
It's
Iziba.
bad.
Izba?
It's
Izba.
it's bad
Don't know
because
what that is. I'll have to look
there
that
is
up.
no
Just
letter after the Z, so it's bad.
okay. Himutsu's grandparents, on the other hand, lived in a traditional Japanese paper house. A
So
0 out of 3 on the scale of 3 piglets, I'd say. Oh, he doesn't like the Japanese paper houses.
well, if you see, there is not much insulation for
And
heat.
you're up
So,
already, Val.
Nikokun.
Barely. I got lost in daydreaming. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how? Sorry.
I'm Nikolai. Yumitsu was walking back from the direction of the market with 2 large bags in her hands.
Fine. You
Me too.
going somewhere?
Just decided to take a walk. Why?
Nothing. Just
She kept to a minimal level of politeness. Minimal for her. Listen, I forgot they had a fight last time too.
okay.
I started merrily. Somehow, even to myself, that merriness was unexpected. I wanted to say sorry about yesterday. It came over me.
It's alright. I understand.
Really, I'm serious. Don't think you did anything wrong. It's all about me. If a girl tells you it's not about you, it's definitely about you. Okay, that he's not wrong about. And what if it's a guy? What if it's me? Yeah, he's starting to realize he's a bad person, by the way. And it's
Mhm.
definitely stupid or worse. Or, you know what? Forget it. Weather's great today. Let's take a walk.
You mean right now? Yeah, the poor girl has two bags in her hand.
She slightly raised the bag, implying she had things to do. Yeah, right now. Is it the weekend or not?
I don't know, Nicole. I still need to make lunch.
I work all the time and never rest. And really, not only did Hubis regularly make food for me, she also saddled herself with all the chores of her own household after the divorce of her parents.
Eight.
And welcome back from ads. So let's get
Welcome back.
going. I hopped to her and snatched the bags out of her hands with a quick motion.
Nicole.
Yusa protested, but her voice sounded reluctant, too timid, like a little.
Fine.
I knew she'd cave. She pouted and sternly marched off to our house. I was still thinking about Catherine and decided to take a breather. I could postpone dealing with her on Monday. Although I couldn't just cast it out of my mind, I needed to distract myself. Maybe Humista wasn't the best option for it for many reasons, but fate itself seemed to have brought us together this morning. I didn't believe in coincidences like that, but many things in life were hard to explain logically. Oh, she changed her outfit.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute.
Humista's sing-song voice came from the doorway. She quickly closed the door and ran up to me. A happy smile shone on her face. Well, let's go.
Yes. But where to?
Where do you want to go? She thought about that.
My
Because I would have been
gosh.
fine just strolling through the streets if I were alone.
I don't know. You choose. Good. Good.
She stared at me with a serious expression. Oh dear, if I choose wrong.
Oh no.
Maybe in different circumstances, Humitsu would have simply said anywhere with you. But not today. Definitely not today. On the other hand, the emotional part of the situation didn't matter much. I would still have to be the one to make the decision.
Yeah.
Hi. How's
Hi,
your after?
Ram.
Actually, no. How's your evening? Forgot Singapore.
Wait. Another what? Is the evening?
Singapore.
Hello.
It's later than you, Val.
What?
He's about to go into
Yeah.
tomorrow. Fine,
the-
fine. Other side of the world. Let's go to the music park. I think he wanted to for a while. Ooh, the music park. I'm glad you're
Yeah.
okay, Ram.
Hey, bye. Well, maybe I have. Hi, Ram. That's cool that you're from Singapore.
Because Val is from Italy.
Yes.
You know me, I always do international, it seems like, on my streams. Having friends all over the world, though. If I ever had money, I would be visiting so many different people.
You know how some other people say mi casa es tu casa. You know, I can cook too. So in Italy,
So
you
it's
will
very
take
full, though. Let's see, what's
You
the
only
thing?
need to cook here.
If you don't want to...
Stop it, Nikko-kun. Let's go.
She playfully took me by the arm and dragged me along. Hey, easy, girl. Oh, look at this. This is really
Oh.
cute.
Yeah.
My parents had told me stories about VDNKH, but for a while after my first visit to a Japanese amusement park, I thought that was the reason they had left the union.
for an amusement park.
In other words, he didn't have a good time last time. Looks fun to me,
So much
though.
that you leave your country and
It's got like two of my favorite rides right in front of us because I love carousels and I love going on the Ferris wheels.
Now instead I see the shoot ones. I love to shoot. I'm really good at it.
Yep.
And like the
I feel like the
how do you call
games.
it? The plastic with the plastic
Darts. The darts.
yeah, not the darts, like the pistol with the
Oh, the
the
pistol. Oh,
plastic.
that's a rubber band gun right there. That's
Yeah,
yeah.
something similar to that. That I love those games.
I used to, but
Those are
then they started rigging them so you can't win, and they're not fun anymore.
no, in Italy they put the empty soda can, and it's easy to take them down.
They do that
Sometimes
here,
I
but
can even take two
they
down.
tape them down so that they literally rig these games. Like if it's got a
No,
bottle, it'll be taped down, so it's almost impossible to shoot down. If it's
No.
they use extra thick rubber on their balloons, so you can't pop them with the darts. Yeah, they cheat. It's almost impossible to
No.
win without spending tons of money. When I was
No,
little, they
that's
didn't.
bad.
When I was little, they didn't do that, and I would bring home stuffed animal every time I went to the carnival. Now they're so rigged, you can't win.
No, that's bad.
I know,
They
right?
should in, yeah, like for a year we are lucky. It seems like the only rigged one is the one with the circle that you have to throw a plastic circle,
On the
and
bottles, yeah. Hi, Brain Pan.
yeah, those one are rigged. The other, luckily, are not.
What are you up to this morning? Other than, well, hanging out with Val and I.
Good morning, brain chicken.
All
I'm
right.
gonna say only chicken. I'm not saying all.
No, 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 that's brain pan chicken, not only chicken.
Ah,
Don't do that. I know English is
okay,
not your first
brain.
language, but really.
You
Uh-oh,
think
there's
it's good?
Corey.
Oh, Corey!
Corey
Hi!
woke up. Corey's about to be surprised. We're not going to tell him why.
Brain
We're
pan
going to do this
chicken.
first.
How is
First,
it going to be called?
we're gonna
Please
grab
don't
2
confuse
beans out of the handy dandy bean jar. And this is getting us
me.
closer
Yeah.
to that goal because we met our sub goal, but our big goal needs some help. So thank you. Oh, this
Yes.
is pancakes and maple syrup, and this is either
Oh,
raspberry or toothpaste.
no, let's hope raspberry so you have a whole pancake.
And it's the raspberry, but it doesn't go well at all with the pancake and maple syrup at all. They don't
Mm.
mess well. Now,
Oh, that's lucky.
now hopefully
But
Corey's paying attention because this is not a good taste. So I'm gonna reach for my York peppermint patty. Don't tell him, Val. I'm gonna reach for my York peppermint patty. Okay, there's my York. There's my York peppermint patty.
you can try and change the.
See, I knew he was gonna go what? He's like, wait,
Well, you can try and
look
change
what
the
I found in the
sound.
grocery store. Look, look.
Ah, that.
Oh, it's a hype train. Oh my god! First thing in the morning. I gotta get another bean out though. But yes, York peppermint patty, hot cocoa. I found it in a grocery store I usually don't go to. And now I'm like, I hope it's there all the time. Okay, I think this is 7-Up, so this is okay. But yes, it's actually made by Hershey. They have Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, and they have York Peppermint Patty. We didn't get the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup because none of us wanted peanut butter hot cocoa. But
Yeah,
I couldn't resist this.
I think
So
that will be interesting actually as a taste.
once
Like,
once this is gone, I'm gonna be sad. But
mm,
yeah, York Peppermint Patty hot cocoa. Yeah,
ooh.
it's not as strong as the actual York Peppermint Patty. The mint is more subdued, but it's good. It's not as good as the stuff that I get from Canada, which is I'm almost out of. If you ever want a really
Uh,
good mint hot cocoa, the best I've ever had is made by Carnation. And it's Carnation and it's just mint in the name. It's not peppermint or anything fancy. It's just mint cocoa.
ooh, yeah.
So far I cannot find in this country. His brother sent me a case and we're almost out. So
No.
we've had it since November. Because 3 out of 4 people like it. So
Mm. In the meantime, guys, we have the up train. They will gift you some beautiful emote,
yep.
and they are forever. For example, I have this beautiful cat, and you can have it too by only gift candy to Dusty. Look how cute it is. I have
Oh,
cats.
this is adorable. I never got that one from a hype train.
Yeah, I found it in another part.
Yeah.
I gifted literally one bit, and
And
they
what
gift me the
and
emote
another
the
thing I
same.
like about it is unlike a lot of hot cocoa where you only get 4 packs, this is 8.
Oh,
Yeah.
there are a lot
Okay.
then.
Now I'm not sponsored by these guys. Oh my god, Gothic's here. Hi
Gothic!
Gothic. I'm not sponsored. I just had to tell people when you give me a bean right now during this hype train, I'm just gonna drink out of my mug. That sounds so weird, but I'm just gonna drink out of my mug. 36 months. Holy cow, Gothic. You
Damn!
have
Like,
been with me forever, and I love you for that.
my.
No, it's fine, Corey. That's why I try to show you guys fun things that I find.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Two
Sorry.
more beans. Go into the bean jar. The bean of over 50 beans. So
We are
far,
63%, guys. We can go to the first level. We can do it.
62%. Yep. Okay, so this one's either stink bug or marshmallow. And
Oh,
this is one of the new beans. I don't know what was put in my bean thing, but it's a neat colors of different shades of pink. I think it's a donut. So it's gonna be really,
oh,
really
probably
good
can be pink.
or really, really bad. And
Let's
that's
hope
stink
good.
bug.
No.
Oh god. Take it,
Oh
Corey.
no.
For the bitch.
Oh no.
Ugh.
Drink some.
I can't. I
Drink
gotta
some
chew it and
tea.
get it down first. It's hard to swallow stink bug.
Okay. And Corey, you write it wrong. It's not catch, it's catch. Good. Check.
Oh, PokeCheck is on purpose.
Oh,
He wanted to know if it was
oh, I thought
registered in
he
his
was writing
Pokedex.
wrong.
Nope.
I'm
He
gonna
was
be
checking to
pissed
see if he
today.
has one. Turns out he doesn't. But thank you, Gothic,
Oh,
because I know you're busy in the afternoon, so go do what you gotta do. Corey's stuck with me, though, because he's just waking up.
okay.
Okay. Okay. Back to the story. We were doing story, right? Well, we can write out the last 24 seconds of the hype train. But, ah, what a great way to start a Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah. This.
Rob, by the way, is sick, busy sneezing while trying to set up OBS again. Good luck with that. Yeah, all the overtime and stuff has really taken too much out of him. Yesterday, he went to bed at 8 o'clock and he woke up at 8 o'clock to start work. Oh,
Corey,
Corey,
Corey for the win.
2 gift subs. Oh, and one
Corey,
of them is to
you're
someone I
in
actually
our
know.
heart.
That's awesome. Yeah, just literally waking up, rolled over into your stream. Good morning. Don't know why your nose
Thank
decided to fit the moment you turned your webcam on. Well, that will make it hard for you to stream. I'm assuming you're going to do
you.
you streaming more Final Fantasy in a bit.
Ooh, I didn't know Gothic did the lives. Wow.
Yes, actually, Gothic and I
How
usually used to once a month stream Into the Fog. We should do that again sometime. We need to stream again.
I only discovered now. Why?
Yeah, every once in a while on a Friday, we used to do either a Faz or Into the Fog or something, but we haven't streamed in a while. And Gothic and I really need to. I miss
Yeah.
his voice. The only time I hear his voice these days is when someone plays "This Is Fine," or at that moment, or
Mm.
what's the other one? Oh, in fact, she was not fine. It's the only time I hear his voice. And I'm glad it's on my stream so I can hear his voice, but I'd rather actually stream with him again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like having the real one.
Yeah, we used to.
Mm-hmm.
I miss those days. But anyway,
Yeah.
we're supposed to be reading a story. The hype.
Theoretically.
I know we got a hype train level 2 going on, but there's still 3 minutes left on that, so I'm just going to read this 2
Yeah.
sentences. We'll give the new chaotic raid in Final Fantasy a second try. Your OBS is broke for the last update. The current one fixed it, so you're going to stream that. Good luck, and I hope a lot of people show up. I can't, because clearly I'm a little busy. Val and I are streaming either 2 or 3 hours. Val hasn't told me what my time limit is.
Oh,
But
three.
3 hours today. Okay,
Sorry,
so
I forgot.
we're doing 3 hours today. And then right after that, I have to grab our daughter, and we have to go run and get the 2 things we forgot to get on the grocery list yesterday. There's always something.
Oh.
So, but she volunteered to go with me as long as she can go to a thrift store. So, I'm going to a thrift store.
Well, that's cool. You can find everything in there.
Ah, it's expensive, but she's looking for a particular color pair of pants, so shouldn't be too expensive.
Mm-hmm. So,
All right,
that's a bit back though.
back to the story. It was a real world of childhood, a collection of dreams recreated in reality. These days, I barely found any of that interesting. Oh no, he's going into this and not hating it. Don't do that. You're out with your girlfriend.
Don't
You,
lose your younger self.
Yumuto, however, seemed to be really excited, just like a kid. Excited about the candy floss, the roundabouts, even the haunted house. Oh, now I want cotton candy.
I have a
Hmm.
machine in the house.
Now I
For
really
cotton
gotta visit you. I gotta get to Italy just for
Ah,
cotton
what?
candy. There, I can hear Rob now. You have to go to Italy for what?
Cotton candy. Good
We're in
morning,
the middle of a
Azora.
hype train level trying for level we're at level 2. We're trying for 3. And trying to get my sub goal. Not, my sub goal is done. We're trying to get my bits goal now. So we're looking for bits.
Yes.
But you don't have to. Oh, and here's Cinder. Good morning, Cinder. Where have you been?
Yeah.
And
Look
right
at
now we're
him.
we're at the amusement
Let's
park.
go. Beautiful
You
Cinder.
have no favoritism whatsoever, Val, over the two cats.
No, what do you make you think of that?
I don't know. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna read Nikolai's line. You sure you're not
Okay.
afraid?
Uh, I'm not. I mean, I am, but there isn't really anything scary in there. Yeah, there are only people dressed like
Okay, okay.
monster.
I was gonna say this over here is a haunted house. That is clearly a haunted house.
Yeah, it's like a demon of
I'll turn
the. It's
this
like
over though.
the
Turn this
demon of
on.
the Japanese culture, if I
There we
remember
go.
well.
Yeah, that does look like a demon from Japanese culture. There. And for those of you
Yeah.
that want to see the cat, 'cause you're here for cat cam, there you go.
Oh my god, Mamma Mia, quanto
I
cute.
mostly didn't care, but the
Oh.
idea. Okay, Val's gonna die now because her favorite thing's here.
Okay, fine.
That's
I'm
all
not going to watch it. Too much cuteness.
right. But the idea of haunted houses always seems stupid to me. Ah,
Yeah, no,
there we go.
I
Zora's right.
forgot
It's an
the word.
Oni. Yes. Well,
Yeah,
no, it
I
can't be
forgot
an
the word.
Oni because I don't have freezing temperatures. I don't know. Did you check the EMF reader? Oh, wait, no, this isn't fast, Dusty. Let's get back into the game here. I didn't like horror movies either. Hype train is
We have to see.
successful. Everybody enjoy your level 1 emote and your
Oh my
level
god, we have a
2.
frog. We have a
You
frog.
got a frog? Oh my
A
god! That
frog.
frog is
A
amazing!
thinking frog.
And thank you for the hype train, guys. We're getting closer to a goal. I've got what? 6 days left. I got
Yeah.
time.
Oh wait.
I
What?
got time.
I only have one. Okay.
I didn't like
I
horror
thought
movies
I
either. Real life would be much scarier. Yeah, right now he's being stalked and
had.
junk. What is
Mm.
that?
That's a hippopotamus is
It's
eating a cookie. I want that.
awesome.
That's cute.
My life right now was not far off from one of Hitchcock's films. He's not wrong. This
Oh
poor
my.
guy. So you want to get scared even though you know there's nothing to be afraid of?
Well, not, but
Sorry. I took a drink of
no,
my hot
no, no
cocoa.
problem, no problem.
Difficult questions
I'm
weren't Himitsu's
answering like,
strong suit, after all.
let's just go, Nico-kun. You just say today's the weekend, and you were here grumbling. So
People must simply want to shake up an injection of adrenaline to distract themselves from the daily grind and feel a surge of emotion. That
that's
must
the
have been
good.
why
So
horror
you
stuff
need
like
to
that
go
didn't
there.
attract me. My life was virtually overflowing with emotion already. True. All right,
Yeah.
all right. Oh,
Oh,
look at the picture.
cute.
Oh, look at the spooky guy to the side. The haunted house was filled with all kinds of paper mache, yokai, werewolves, women with long necks, and other dark spawn from Japanese folklore. I
But
wouldn't have been scared even if I knew why these things were supposed to be scary. For example, the drunkard raccoon seemed pretty cute to me. Wait, why would
I
a
agree.
drunken raccoon be in a haunted house? We were
Oh
moving
well.
forward pretty slowly, partly because it was dark in here.
Wouldn't you be scared of the idea of having a raccoon who's drunk in front of you?
No,
You don't
because
know what you can do.
it wouldn't do much because it would just waddle around. Himutsu tightly clasped my arm and would squeeze it so hard at scarier moments that it hurt. Hey, when's the scary part supposed to start? That's me in a haunted
You're
house.
always like this.
What about me? What matters is that you like it. Truth be told, I
Oh,
already
okay.
started to get really bored when suddenly, uh-oh, something's coming.
Jump scare.
Oh! It
Look at
actually jumped!
Miss face.
Something
Get
jumped at
scared.
me out of the
More.
darkness. I sprang back, dragging Humitsu along, and made a wild swing in the direction of No, you don't hit things in a haunted house, Nikolai! That's a person! The ghost cracked apart and sank to the floor with a distinctive sound of tearing cardboard. Okay, so you destroyed one of the
Oh my,
props. That's...
no. You're gonna get. You
What?
have to
What?
pay
What the hell
now.
was that? A kaiju.
Akio
Or...
Ijo. What
Oh my
the
god.
hell is
Kimitsu
Akijo?
laughed. I knew you'd like
I
it.
knew you'd like it.
Is he gonna have to pay for that? Ki
Yeah,
what? Damn
technically,
it!
yes.
After that, we started moving even slower, with me now constantly throwing glances left and right, unwilling to die from a heart attack at the tender age of 18.
Did you say there was nothing to be afraid of?
There isn't. I was just startled. It could happen to anyone.
Yeah, sure.
It can. I responded rudely, my heart beating like crazy. Fine. What do you want me to say? Yeah, I got scared.
I'm glad.
Glad about what? Are you a sadist now?
I just...
She grew embarrassed and dropped her eyes as if she wasn't going to continue. So, she found the resolve.
I'm glad you managed to distract yourself.
Distract myself from what? I asked, uncomprehending.
No, that's the whole thing. I'm not talking about that.
But Himu's gaze filled with anxiety and sadness that made me understand. You know, sorry for my behavior yesterday and all, but I'm fine. I don't need to distract myself from anything. Even the buzzing yokai in the distance seemed to have grown silent for a moment, captivated by our conversation.
For the drama. Sorry, I don't want to start it over again. I don't.
Of course, it's not about you. I mean, I said as much as myself. It's never about you. It can never even be about you, what I'm even saying. Okay, that's hurtful. Don't do that, Nikon.
Nico-kun. So you have to think there is a yokai who was working and said like sanity himself because he wants to hear the conversation. He wants tea.
My head suddenly started to ache. Thoughts about Catherine rushing over me with new strength, making the pain unbearable. Dude, you with a girl that you should be with. Stop thinking about Catherine. Enough. Please stop pretending we're still 7 years old. Was that it? Was this really what it's been all about the whole time? Did Himisu desperately resist growing up, thinking she would live her entire life acting like a child? Children are afraid of pain, of sadness, of being scolded, of being shown their mistakes. They hate when their favorite toys are taken away. Children don't want to draw conclusions and learn, don't want to grow up. Himisu, enough. Okay, he's being mean.
Yeah.
She seemed to want to say something, but stopped when she looked at me. Please stop. Don't you understand? You're only making it worse. Don't worry about me like this. I'm not a kid. I can make my own decisions. Whatever they
You're
are.
not in like 20 or 80. Nico-kun, please don't. No, poor girl, she's crying.
Small shoulders trembled and the ghost fell silent.
You can be with her. You can be with whoever you want. Just don't be like this.
She was no longer crying, she was weeping, but I was too riled up to pay attention. I blamed Himitsu, blamed probably far too much and undeservingly, but at the time I simply couldn't stop. It's a cowardly to shift your problems to other people, and even more so to those that are close to you. When you have no more strength left to cope with them yourself, sometimes there's no other way. Sorry, I gotta disagree with you. There's always another way. Do not do that to people. That's wrong.
The only thing that will
Yeah,
happen.
that's
The
exactly it.
other people
He's just making excuses. Yeah, that's what you're doing, dude. It's sickening enough already. And then there's you. You want to support me? Then stop prying into my soul all the time. I'll sort out myself and tell you my decision.
My God.
Himisu let out one last sob and ran away, breaking cardboard yokais on her way. The door swung closed behind her, and I was left alone in this comical, phony hell where the real demons were eating at me from inside. Enough already! In the last week, my life had turned into some shitty TV drama with a cheap plot. Unfortunately, it wasn't actually a TV show, and couldn't as easily be turned off. Were I to continue on the same course, it would only get worse from here. And in a couple years, there'd be nothing left, only pain and void, like after Mom and Dad's death. I don't want to lose anyone else close to me. And it didn't matter what I really felt. My feet carried me to the exit as if on their own accord.
My.
Yeah, that was a lot of deep. I gotta take a drink and keep petting Tinder's head.
Yeah. My God, though. Like, I forgot in 2 weeks or more, I forgot that these guys like to talk to himself.
Yep.
So much.
He does, but it's good because we understand his character motivation. So,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still.
After running out on the street, I was momentarily blinded by the bright sunlight.
So, but you have to think now he has to pay the one that he broke, the one that the Mitsu broke.
Contrast
He's
with the
rich
gloom
on
of
the
the
wall.
haunted house was too great. When my vision returned to me, I looked around and noticed Himitsu sitting on a nearby bench, calmly eating candy floss. Nothing remained of the
That's the
fact
way.
that just a minute ago she'd been sobbing violently. I gotta try to catch a cloncher.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Ko-Fi thing just went. My Ko-Fi is where I'm raising funds for the computer chair, because my computer chair broke yesterday. Yay.
No.
Yeah. So I put on
Why?
Ko-Fi. So I'm hoping people buy me hot cocos on Ko-Fi to help towards the computer chair. Yes.
Oh my.
Besides maybe the reddish eyes. Good day. May I make your acquaintance? My name is Nikolai. Oh, he's starting over. I said, approaching. It sounded stupid and out of place, but humans still love jokes like this. At least she had before.
No, you may not. I'm waiting for a friend.
He smiled as if nothing happened.
Ah. And what were you doing here?
I'm waiting for a friend too. She has red hair and often makes a funny face like this. I puffed out my cheeks and popped my eyes out. Mitsu laughed.
Come on, stop.
No, I'm telling you, that's exactly the face she makes.
Nico-kun, stop.
I sat down next to her, although not too close. Sorry for today, and in general. Let's just not talk about it anymore. I let out a sign, getting ready for a long monologue.
All right.
Oh.
Oh.
Himitsu gave a short answer, still focused on her candy floss. I wanted to say that. What? That's it? That simple?
Wait a moment, because I have someone at the door. One moment, sorry.
It's okay. I'm going to drink my hot cocos. It's almost cold cocoa.
Maybe I hit and run, because there is no. So, of course, why fight if we cannot fight? So that's a good thing.
That was cold cocoa. Okay, so I'm out of hot cocoa.
Oh,
Back
no!
to water. Yeah, I have a mug that, believe it or not, Fem Gaming sent me a mug that keeps your cocoa warm. It's got a lid on it. I keep forgetting to use because I keep telling them when I stream or paint, my hot cocoa becomes cold cocoa before I finish it every time. So you sent me a mug to stop this problem. And do I remember to use it? Oh.
No.
And it's mostly because this mug here is my favorite. Not because it says kindness matters, which I love. Because my hand holds it the best out of any mug. So when my hand's hurting, this is the best way to warm my hand. Aw, look, Pokemon gifts are being sent out. All right, let's build back to the story. That's true, but I wanted to say I did the wrong thing. You don't deserve to be treated like this. So true.
I know.
Suddenly she turned to me and said in a serious tone,
Nico-kun, enough. I understand. You didn't mean to, and you won't do it again, right?
Felt a shiver run down my spine. Yeah, of course.
And if you do, I'll bite you.
Mitchell chomped through almost half the remaining floss in one go. Scary! I laughed while actually feeling a bit uneasy.
Now let's go. I still want to ride the bumper cars.
Oh, I love
I
bumper
love them.
cars. I love
I love them.
bumper cars. I haven't been in bumper cars in, let me think, 30 years.
Oh my! For me, it's been like 3 years,
I can't.
and
Amusement parks are
those
expensive.
are the reason why I wanted to get a license.
Ah, bumper cars.
Because
No,
I
you're
love
talking.
driving them so much as I want to have a driver license. I'm not doing bumper cars with my car,
I
so
hope not.
but
And don't be doing
no,
go karts either. That's too.
neither.
No,
But that's
amusement
so
parks
fun.
here are like $40 to get into. So you've got a family of four. It's too expensive. So I haven't been to an amusement
Oh
park since
yeah.
I had kids
No, in here we go
or
out
before.
on tokens. Tokens are during like 5 minutes of riding for token,
Okay.
and and you can buy as many as you want. You can start to one token to
Yeah,
3 euros.
The
Like,
state fair does that, but it's tickets and it's every ride. It's $1 per ticket. And every ride costs like 5, 6 tickets, so it's just
mm,
it gets too expensive.
oh no, that's bad.
Yeah, so yep, nope.
Mm.
My life is not about having fun outside of the house because outside's expensive. It's about having fun on stream.
Well, we can enter another side tangent about the cost of living right now, but I don't
Not
think
going to. We're going back
it's
to the
time.
story, the drama.
Yeah.
Maybe there was nothing strange about the change in Himitsu's behavior. It might have just been a defense mechanism. To isolate herself from the problem, to ignore it, to pretend nothing had happened. Meanwhile, I couldn't escape the thoughts that came to me in the haunted house. But the shame of what I had done, the memories of Sabi Himitsu, and my guilt weren't letting me process them properly. Maybe I could do it later, when she would have calmed down a bit. And I couldn't even say for sure if Himitsu was vindictive. She never really resented me. Or anyone at all, really. A sweetheart, as my mother would probably say.
Mm.
Himitsu would often get sick when she was
Oh,
little, and as a consequence, only went into first grade when I was already in second. At that time, I
okay.
barely knew Japanese and attended school at the embassy. I liked socializing with fellow Russians, but at the same time, I felt sorry for Himitsu. She really wanted to go to the same school as me. After my classes, I would read her books for my homework. She listened carefully and never interrupted, even though she could read much better and faster than me.
Hmm.
And then Himitsu went to the same middle school as me. My classmates would crack jokes at me for us being together and all that. I probably wouldn't see anything wrong with that now, but at that age, the spirit of rebelliousness and contrarianism simmered in me, and I denied it as hard as I could. Which clearly upset Himitsu, but she mostly kept quiet. Surely she had an opinion of her own on the matter, which was very different from mine. Time passed, our relationship slowly changed. I got used to Himitsu and in the end started to regard her like an inseparable part of my life, like a constant. But what did Himitsu herself think? I probably never really cared. Yeah, see, starting to realize he was a bad person. The
Mm-hmm.
two of us were passing a
Yeah, but
booth where you could.
only now
Yeah,
she
but at least he
reactivated
is
again.
passing a
Like,
booth. Okay, why did it do that? Game.
oh my.
Okay.
Ah,
Shoot a pneumatic
it was
rifle
like
at targets to earn
uh,
points. Okay, we're going by the guns that you like to use. Enough points would earn you a prize.
let's try it. Let me shoot.
Himitsu said with excitement. I don't really know how to shoot.
Good, send me. Come on, just a couple of times. Look, it's not even a very expensive.
Okay. I took the rifle. It turned out to be lighter than I expected, tried it, and rested the stock against my shoulder and aimed. To get the maximum amount of points, I had to shoot the very center of the furthest target. It seemed like the
Mm,
rifle's sight was looking right at it, but things couldn't be that easy, could they? My
no.
finger trembled on the trigger. I couldn't make up my mind, endlessly shifting the barrel left, right, up, and down.
Mm. Nico, come on, shoot.
Wait, don't jinx it.
Come on, fire.
I finally got tired of it. Hit or miss, what did it matter? Bam. In my mind, the sound of the shot was supposed to be far louder than it ended up being. Well, that's because it's not a real gun, dude.
No, because when you hit something, the sound gets muffled
Yep.
instead of when you hit nothing. Oh. Striking match, young man.
His owner exclaimed. What? You mean I hit it? Well, fortune favors fools.
You may choose any prize.
Any at all?
Of course.
Well, that's certainly not how that works here. Here you get the teeny tiny prize, and then you have to hit it again. And you can change it to a larger prize, and then a larger prize, and a larger prize. It's all a
Yeah.
scam.
Yeah, but you have to think that he has gone for the thing that makes more points. So that's why I say all of this.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I looked at Himitsu, and her eyes immediately lit up with joy.
Oh, what the elephant over there?
So cute!
Cute.
It's like, God, fancy. There really
I
was a
want to.
giant stuffed pink elephant on the far shelf. It was at least a meter tall and just as wide.
Oh,
A pink elephant? Really? It's bigger than you.
hey.
All right, all right. Could you give us, I addressed the owner, the pink elephant over there?
Of course.
He talked in a sing-song voice and generally looked pretty amusing. Here. I took Himitsu some effort, but she managed to brace the prize, almost disappearing behind the stuffed animal. Can you even see it?
Again.
She said aggrievedly, seemed like the voice was coming from the elephant itself. Oh my god, a talking elephant! I theatrically exclaimed.
You want it, so you carry it. Look at that.
Himitsu handed me the prize and strode forward with a sprightly step. Carrying the elephant was more convenient for me, sure, but it was still a subpar experience. Truly, sometimes it's better to be club-handed. After a weekend like...
After a week,
Oh,
no,
sorry.
it's mine.
Yeah.
My.
Oh, oh, oh.
After a weekend like that, you need to rest for all the resting.
Sorry, moving cat cam
Well,
because cat has left my lap.
no.
There we go. Cinder's on cat cam.
No, but still I can see it. It's so cute. I can't. My ass.
She said cheerfully, stepping out from yet another attraction. Why do you think people hate Monday mornings? Oh god, that's an easy one. Weekends are fun. Who wants to go back to work?
True. Because it's the first day of the week. Yeah, that's true.
Not
That's true.
everywhere. That's true too. If you're working at the carnival, your weekend's not even that weekend because you're working. So that's true.
True. Weekends are during the week. What do you mean?
Well, in
People
some
work.
places, weeks start on Sunday. That's true too.
Huh? True. True. Yeah. That's nonsense. I don't believe it. Where?
I don't remember.
China? See, that means you made it up. No, that means you have to search for it.
I didn't make anything up. I read it in a book.
A science fiction one?
She's giving him some. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Why does it matter?
It matters because it's not real. Maybe it was on another planet.
A different planet can't have a Sunday because it has a different rotation period.
What does that have to do with days of the week?
True.
Yes.
It could be a 36-hour long day, but it still could have 7 days. You don't know.
What? True.
All right, I give up. You win.
That's better.
She has such pretty eyes.
Yeah.
A pleased smile appears on Himitsu's face. Well, let's go home.
Let's go.
When leaving the park, I noticed someone familiar in the crowd. Or maybe it was
There we
just
go.
my imagination. Really, what would she be doing here alone? Oh,
Did
he thinks he
something
saw
happen
Catherine, probably.
Yeah, more than
Huh?
probably.
No, nothing.
You know, like you've just seen a ghost.
You think one couldn't follow us from the haunted house?
I
I didn't want to remember what had happened there. That place is stupid. I told you.
agree.
For the last hour, Himitsu has been trying her hardest to pretend nothing had happened. She almost managed to convince me of it.
Let's get the subway. I'm tired. Not even a look.
As you wish, me lady.
Malay.
Watching Misu drag the pink elephant home was quite amusing. That'd be like if I did it. Stood there and observed until the door closed behind her. The rest of the day promised to be boring. Himisu hadn't made lunch for her dad, but definitely couldn't ignore dinner, so I was about to spend today's evening alone. But for some
Hmm.
reason, I wasn't upset as this fact as I could have been. After all, today wasn't all that bad. I leisurely walked through my yard, whistling some catchy tune from an anime, opened the door, and found a piece of paper under it. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
A
Again.
note. All the worries and fears came rushing back in a single moment. I froze in place, unable to move. I immediately felt like hundreds of eyes were watching me, attentive, cold gazes from twilight that were piercing me down to the bone. But determination suddenly returned to me, and the silent observers disappeared as quickly as they came. I bent down and picked up the note.
Mm.
It was in English. I meant it.
Oh.
One sec.
Drink.
My voice was going for a second there.
Yeah.
Nikolai, I thought you wanted to talk, but I guess you didn't really. I'll be waiting for you in the bar until 8 p.m. See. Oh, it's Catherine.
Oh.
Cast a glance at the clock. It was a quarter to 8. The pleasant memories of the day spent with Himitsu melted away so quickly it was strange. I had only 15 minutes, and getting to the bar would take at least 20. That is, if I walked.
Bye.
I rushed through the streets, nimbly dodging people and cars. I'd never been in bad shape, but now my lungs barely seemed to fill with enough air.
So much.
There's a shotgun in chat. My vision dimmed. I almost got myself run over a couple of times. Could it really be that simple? So many times in the past year and a half, I've been telling myself that if Catherine were to return, I'd have the self-respect not to come running at her like a first call, like a little puppy. I didn't care in the slightest why exactly she came today, why she was waiting at the bar. The cruelest thing anyone could do to another human being is give them false hope. At the same time, hope is intoxicating. It makes all the thoughts of worry and common sense lose importance. Somehow deep inside, I felt sorry for myself, disgusted by my spinelessness and lack of character. But that was nothing more than introspection of a junkie between doses. Just yesterday, he'd been telling himself he'd be able to kick the habit. Today, all he could think of was the drug. Just recently, it seemed to me that it was all over, that I should be able to let go and forget. But all I needed to slip again was the smallest thing, a tiny piece of paper folded in two. And a couple simple words. And again, I imagined Catherine say it. I don't particularly want to... Oh, this is you. Okay.
I don't particularly want to, but if you insist, we could as well talk.
A favor, indifference, at the same time arrogance, superiority. The less we show our love to a woman, the easier she is to win. That's a nice quote. Who says that?
Someone doesn't understand that much.
I guess it worked the other way around, too. Finally, I stood at the doors of the familiar bar, greedily gasping for air, trying to catch my breath. Why would she even choose this place? I definitely couldn't show up there looking like that. I had spruced myself up. It wasn't even about self-respect, just common decency. Not to mention, this way I'd have a better chance. Large drops of sweats were running down my face, and the giant wet spot on my shirt would dry up in a minute. Could I possibly look any more pitiful? Begrudgingly, I entered. It was pretty empty inside, and the clouds of smoke usual Saturday evening didn't hover on the ceiling. Only several visitors were nestled in the far corner.
Oi, Korea.
Bartender called out to me idly, wiping glasses at the counter. Catherine was nowhere to be seen. What time is it?
8.
She stood him up? I mean, exactly?
No, I think maybe it's the
Oh,
guy behind.
it's 8,
because,
3 minutes past. Why? She said exactly 8. He's late, but
about 3 minutes.
he should have seen her in the street, though. I asked, surprised. Nothing now. I was just 3 minutes late. Sure, it would be stupid to think Katya left exactly at 20 hours.
It's 8.
But even if she did, she'd need some time to get out of the bar and walk far enough. Was Catherine here? I already caught my breath, but my voice still sounded ragged.
Korea, are you alright?
Just answer the question.
Well,
He put the glass aside and walked closer to me.
she was spent 20 or so minutes either here and then left.
So she came early and then left early. That's
No,
not
come
high.
on, but that's too much.
That's not... Yeah. What?
Yeah, I found it strange too.
No, I mean, when was that?
About 3 hours ago. What?
So it was all a lie? A note that promised to wait until 8? Although, hadn't I made the promise up myself? Did she say anything?
No.
And what about you?
What about me?
Stared at me uncomprehendingly. Nothing. Forget it.
Do you want to tell me that is all about? What it
Bar-
is all about?
The bartender poured a mug of beer and put it in front of me.
On the house. Still giving alcohol to underage children. Good.
Not today. Carefully moved the mug away.
Shit's fuck, isn't it?
Guess so. Somewhere deep inside, I knew the ostensible sympathy from the bartender was nothing more than a skillful act perfected over years of work. But at the same time, now more than ever, I needed support. What was this on Catherine's part? A mockery? A joke? Did she just change her mind? Was it really important? Looked into the bartender's eyes and for some reason, smiled. I'll go.
Well, alright, take care. But that guy
This makes
behind is
sense.
sus.
Why would she have shown up 3 hours before she said to meet him and then give a note saying that that's just he needs to give up on
Uh,
Catherine and
I
stay with
have two
Himitsu.
theories. I have two theories. One is not Catherine, but someone else with a C. Or two, she was there and then decided, oh, let's leave it a note, and maybe she hadn't. She was walking. Instead, he comes by bike, so it
That's
was
true.
going to be there later.
Okay.
Uh, and third option, the guy behind him sus, because the game draw him.
That's true. In the 5 minutes I had
That's
spent in the bar, it grew totally dark outside. The steam coming out of my mouth hinted it was time to get my winter clothes down from the loft. Maybe I should have gotten myself a drink. At least I'd be warmer. I smirked under my breath. It was that feeling when you're too tired of bearing with the pain and internal defense mechanism activates, suppressing all emotion. And now I was
oh.
absolutely sure I wouldn't be running after Catherine anymore. Moreover, I didn't know what and why even happened today. Must have been a temporary mind haze. I reached home on autopilot, thinking neither about the past day or Katya. My windows were light. It had to be Himitsu. I was even somewhat glad, at least with her, things were simpler.
True.
I opened the door with my keys. For some reason, Himitsu had locked herself inside, which was weird.
Mm.
Hi, young rogue. How are you? I said, knocking,
Hi, Rogue.
entering the kitchen. There she is. She was sitting on a chair, her back unnaturally straight, looking at the painting on the wall.
I don't even remember where it's from.
She said melancholy. Mom and Dad brought it along from Russia. She didn't react. Why?
No reason. It's just a beautiful painting. The brush and scenery. I always wonder how it feels to be there. Oh, she jealous
Oh my god, is
for
she
cat
breaking up with him?
because
Huh?
they're together.
Keep going.
I thought maybe we got there today one day. You and I. You should show me your old home. You will walk through the forest and fields, just like this painting. Yeah,
Kinda.
dating scene.
Kinda.
It's
It's more
more
than
than a
that.
dating scene, though.
There is a dating element, but it's also a murder mystery, trying to figure out who killed his parents and why.
And who's killing everyone else? Because not
Yeah,
only
and killing
the
other people. Yeah, there's layers to this because there is a dating element. He does have a love triangle going on, but his parents were murdered. He's just realizing that. Yeah, it's a
yeah.
it's a whodunit and why at the same time as also a dating thing. It's neat because it's more than a dating sim.
Hmm.
We will, no reason not to. Himitsu was acting unnatural, wasn't even trying to hide it.
I don't think it worked out. Not anymore.
What happened?
Oh,
Why? She finally tore herself away from the painting and looked at me.
because I need to study.
Himitsu suddenly smiled and continued.
And so will you.
As if I would. But there will be breaks. We can go for a trip then.
Maybe. Anyway, time for dinner now.
Let's look at the painting. I honestly had no idea what was depicted on it. A place in the real world or a piece of the artist's imagination. Does it really matter if people like it? At least Himitsu did. She even wanted to go there.
Hmm.
When is dinner? Himitsu wasn't herself. She didn't ask where I'd been, even though by the looks of it she'd been waiting for me a while.
Here.
Himitsu said proudly, putting a plate with the baked potatoes and a steak in front of me. To what do I owe the honor?
I know you like this stuff, so I decided to make it.
I do, sure, but you don't usually. I mean, you prefer healthy food.
It's okay to treat yourself sometimes. You did win the elephant today. That's good.
All right, the elephant. The giant pink one. Where did you put it?
In my room, I wanted to put it in the shelf first, but there wasn't enough space, so the corner had to do.
Left.
Hey,
Don't pay me. Imagine how hard it must be for the proud African animal to live within four walls. Used to be in the open savannah.
Nico Woman.
He just smiled and started eating. For a while, I managed to forget about the note about Catherine and simply enjoyed my favorite meal. And I had no desire to think about Himitsu's initial weird behavior. How are things at home?
Everything's fine. Why?
Well, you did skip lunch.
It's okay sometimes. You didn't say that yourself.
Ads will start in 5 minutes. If you are not subscribed, it's only 3 minutes and we're back to uninterrupted for another hour of this story. Sorry, young rogue. What was that?
Already 1 hour?
Yeah, I know. 1 hour has gone already. This is good.
Wow.
I know. Why wasn't she asking where I'd been? Maybe there's something else? Himitsu took a moment to think.
Not really. Everything's fine.
I wonder if Catherine went to talk to Himitsu.
Yeah, no! What if she was in the bar? She thought.
What if she put the note? What if
put the note? He will leave. I'll go to Imitsu. I will not have Nikolai in the middle, and I will say this.
I'm wondering. That's my theory. Maybe she didn't notice anything. Who could know what I was off doing? Maybe I was saving the world. Okay, I guess. Any plans for tomorrow?
Of course, tomorrow is our big autumn cleanup.
Okay then, come whenever you want.
I was talking about myself, actually. We're cleaning my house.
Oh, of course. Are you somewhat embarrassed?
What
I'll clean up too then. Yusa giggled.
You clean? Don't worry, I'll do it within next week. Oh, sorry, Mitsu now is a maid.
Yeah, alright, if you say so. Suddenly felt uneasy around her. Because I was hiding a new note from Catherine, there was clearly something wrong with Himitsu. At the same time, dinner was on the table and she was smiling, which made me even more uneasy. Cleaning is a responsible task that requires a good night's sleep. The two of us have gotten tired enough today already.
I'm not tired at all.
What do you want to do then?
What about you?
Go to sleep, to be honest.
Right, let's sleep then.
Didn't you say you weren't tired?
Well, if that's what you want, she's strange.
Yeah, something's not right with Himitsu at all. Okay,
no,
I guess.
All day.
Yeah.
You decide, you do.
Yep. I stood up, but Himitsu remained in place, looking at me unexpectedly. Worrying thoughts started to sprout in my mind. Should I see you safely home?
I'll be sleeping with you. Oh, that's not the way.
Wait, what? She replied calmly. Himitsu, you're scaring me. Stop that. The nervous giggle escaped my lips and it took a titanic effort not to take a step back.
Where did you go today?
Ah, here it is. Oh, we got a new follow. Welcome in.
Oh, welcome.
What, to the music park with you, don't you remember? And after that? Oh, what if Himitsu wrote it as a test? What if the note was from Himitsu and she wrote it to see what would happen?
No, it's impossible because she was with him,
Oh,
and
that's
he
true. That's true.
saw the
Okay.
note
I was
after.
home. I stammered
Yeah,
out. Oh,
the whole time.
she's lying. He's lying to her. Yeah.
Yeah. Then where did you run off to?
Almost a know what the game is like. Come on, so he mutes his voice as she had to always make you feel genuinely scared.
After her.
After who? I didn't run after anyone. She didn't respond, just kept glaring at me. I realized it was useless to keep denying it. Were you watching me?
I don't need to watch you. I know you too well.
But then how?
I looked out the window. I saw you find a note and then ran off somewhere.
So you were watching me after all.
Think whatever you want.
He gave a short reply and stood up from the chair. It's none of your business in the first place.
Oh, that's how you talk now.
Michi tried to appear strong to make me understand she was really upset. Naturally, she had the best possible intentions and was doing it out of concern for me. Maybe someone else would have believed it. But not me. I didn't feel guilty, I just couldn't. Not after everything that happened. I was trapped as being torn apart from the inside by two opposite forces. I'm
Oh.
tired. Ooh, there's a Trubus in chat. Could have tried to pick up the trash. 21 seconds ad start, 3 minutes. You'll return for an uninterrupted hour. I promise.
Woohoo.
I sat down in the chair next to Himitsu and let out a helpless sigh, burying my head in my hands. Leave me alone, all of you, at least for today.
Miko-kun.
Her voice was cold as before, but notes of sadness could be heard in it.
Miko-kun, I worry about you. You can't keep up like this. She's hurt us so much.
Us? What a truly curious choice of words.
Just forget her. Is that really that hard?
It's
Technically,
hard.
yes.
Yeah, I whispered quietly. A couple hours ago, I wanted to talk to someone, but the bartender certainly wasn't fit for this conversation. Could Himitsu be? Previously, I'd done everything I could to make sure the thought of my relationship with Catherine never crossed her mind. Maybe even impossible. But now I've been driven into a
Oh,
corner and there wasn't anyone else nearby. I didn't want to see anyone else nearby.
I can help if you want me to.
She approached and embraced me.
You'll be alright. I'm here.
I hugged her back and pressed her close.
I was serious if you want it.
What are you talking about?
Well, the living.
I couldn't see her face, but sure she blushed to the roots of her hair. Do you really think by doing that you'll be able to replace Catherine?
I don't want to replace anyone. Oh, she was. No, I thought it was
Uh,
sleeping normally, not that
no,
sleeping.
she was thinking that sleeping. Yeah, she
Oh,
pushed me away
okay.
slightly
I
and
was,
took a step back.
Nico-kun, it just hurt me that you have done it so many times with her, and you won't do it now. But you don't want to do it with me.
Would do
Jeez.
it now. If Catherine were in Himitsu's place now, would I be able to resist? But what did it matter? As if sex was the only reason I fell in love with Katya. Do you really think sex is the most important here? That's the only reason we were together? Maybe you think that I can't love you just because we haven't done it? That's what you think about me, huh? I couldn't stop. Her words generally upset me. Was it because there was some truth to them?
Oh, that's not what I meant at all. Nico-kun, sorry. She's crying again.
She's good. He's not good for her. He used to burst into
No.
tears.
Oh,
Alright,
he's
alright,
a
it's fine.
threat.
I stood up and hugged her carefully. It just seemed like you believed sex would solve all our problems. She didn't say anything, just kept sobbing. You don't really believe that, do you? Yumitsu jerked her head from side to side. That's good. Sometimes even the people closest to each other should have some time apart to think things over. And what could we even talk about in this situation? So, see you tomorrow? Cleaning.
Cleaning.
Yeah. He needs to talk to her. I'm sorry, he should not send her away. This is a serious thing they need to talk out. Fine, then
Yeah.
see you on Monday.
No, but sometimes I agree with Nikolai. Sometimes you need to think to talk when you have a cold head, not when you're
That's
hot
true.
head, so you're angry because you can say things that you don't meant, or the situation
But they
could
really need to
escalate.
talk
You
this
never know.
out.
Yeah. No, poor Mitsu.
Yusa said nothing, walked out of the kitchen, her eyes glued to the floor. Sunk into the chair and waited until the front door closed after her. God, things could have gone so differently. Really, why couldn't I have sex with Himitsu? But aside all the moralizing about it having to be between two people who love each other, what if it would have solved their problems? And what if it
My
hadn't?
neck! My neck! Oh god!
Thank you, Wolfie.
Hi, Wolfie.
Then Himitsu would have definitely started to hate me, and that would be something I could never forgive myself for. He's right. They should not just have sex to try to fix a relationship. That's the worst
Yeah.
possible idea.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, and the community is back. So those of you like Young Ring that didn't have a
Welcome back.
sub, welcome back. We missed you. All you missed was a fight. Okay, let's see.
Things were sad.
Tokyo was sleeping, paying no attention to my problems. This night, the multi-million person metropolis felt absolutely lifeless. Even the streetlights seemed to have dimmed their lights, trying not to wake the sleeping inhabitants. I was lying in my bed staring at the ceiling. Looked around the room a couple of times. Something was wrong, out of place maybe. Or something was missing. It was hard to figure out exactly what was the matter in the dark, but after a while it dawned on me that the letter wasn't on the table. Had Himitsu
Mm.
taken it? Like I cared. Winter is better than summer. There's no salvation from heat, but you can escape the cold via a warm sweater and a traditional Japanese kotatsu?
Kotatsu.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the table with the heating inside.
We could make a snowman, light up a Christmas tree lamp, eat tangerines and Russian salad. Ooh, what's Russian
Ooh.
salad? I want to find that one out. And early in the
No, it's
morning,
a
we.
salad. Mayonnaise, potatoes,
Okay.
peas, and other things inside. It's actually good.
I can't
I
have
have to say.
potatoes, though. And early
Oh,
in the morning, we run to look for presents Father Frost had brought. Oh, instead of calling it. Okay, Santa Claus is Father Frost. That's awesome.
yeah, I
Oh,
think in Russia
if only things were
it
as
is.
simple now as they were when we were little. I hadn't wanted to grow up, hadn't asked for all these problems and complications. Why did
Mm.
everyone else, Kayasaki, Michael, Saya-chan, live the lives of normal teenagers while mine resembles some kind of melodrama with events of tragedy? How could our fates have turned out? My parents not decided to immigrate from the USSR, I wondered. They probably would be alive, dude. Yeah, see,
Oh,
they would have
that's good.
probably still been alive, and both Yumitsu and
Mhm,
Catherine probably would have been happier, which meant it was
mhm,
all my fault. Catharsis, the redemption through suffering, was, I guess, the only thing that really helped me. I drove my flagellating introspective to its highest point, convicted myself of all mortal sins, served as the judge, the prosecutor, the jury, and found myself guilty. And only after that did I manage to fall asleep.
mhm.
Wow, this guy really needs to talk to somebody.
Yeah, I think he has to see a therapist because he has a long manner.
September 13th, 1987.
Mm.
Just realized there's a spot open on the front row. Neat.
Mm.
You know the little thing on the top where everybody's got the little figurine? There's
Yeah.
actually a spot for someone.
Oh,
For 200
that's
points and 200 bits on the front row, you can actually have your little figure on the front row. I didn't realize I had an
good.
opening. Sometimes life gives you a second chance. All you need for is a good night's sleep. The events of the past day
Mm.
had already faded and no longer brought me as much pain. The storm had passed, and I was standing on the deck watching it go. My essential skiff had somehow avoided being crushed. It was all over now, but it almost slipped up. Made the only thing Himitsu would have tolerated was self-pity. Even it manifested like this. Sunday morning started peacefully as usual, as probably the only day when all or almost all Japanese people rest. It's a time to
Mm.
be with your family and deal with housework. I remember it was Himitsu's big cleanup day. Did that mean I wouldn't see her? On the one hand, that was a good thing. We both needed a cool down. But I did feel bored. For the first time in a long way, I had a quiet day, and what did I do? Grumble at the thought that my life might finally return to its normal course?
Mm.
The breakfast seemed insipid and somehow wrong. After a couple of minutes, I couldn't even remember what I'd been eating. TV didn't entertain me with the contents of its box. I hadn't brought any new games for a while. I was bored with the old ones. The printed letters danced circles in front of my eyes. Now, isn't this something? Just a week ago, I could spend the entire week bumming around. Maybe it wasn't about being bored after all? Yesterday's evening with Himitsu distracted me from the thoughts about Catherine, but nothing had really changed. Maybe I wasn't sensitive about her being less than 1,000 miles away from me anymore, but I couldn't solve the problem by ignoring it. A phone call interrupted the disorder of my thoughts. Ooh, hopefully it's not another threat.
Mm-hmm.
I forced myself to answer it. Hello?
Awake so early? Weird.
It's Catherine calling. It took me too long really to recognize the voice. I definitely hadn't expected to hear her. You still remember my phone number?
Have it written down.
Oh yeah, of course. What was I hoping for? What do you want?
Aren't you rude today? Woke up to the wrong side of the bed?
I distinctly imagined her smirk. Rude, you bet, after what happened yesterday. When she just ditched me at the bar.
You mean the note?
So she did write it.
Yeah.
What else could I mean? You know, I even believed it for a second. I even came. She didn't answer immediately.
So did I.
Yeah,
Wait,
but you weren't there at 8, and the bartender told me that you had left 3 hours before.
that's correct.
Suddenly, Catherine's voice grew firm.
You didn't expect me to sit there 3 hours, did you?
That was just another trick of yours?
No, I was just waiting in a different place, outside. You didn't come.
I did.
Not a date.
Yeah, maybe it was a couple minutes late, so what?
I think you had enough time. No, 15 minutes.
So she did leave. She did leave
What
exactly at
a
8.
shit.
He mutes is much better for him. Except that I spent the
Yeah.
day with Himitsu
But
in the
he's a
amusement
bit of-
park and therefore hadn't found the note on time. But there's no reason for Catherine to know that. I came as soon as I could.
What do you want from me then?
I don't want anything. You're the one who called.
You're right about that.
Smirked.
I guess I shouldn't have, judging by your reaction.
Hachi, I'm a human being too.
No one doubts that. You know, maybe I'm wrong here, all the notes and secrets. Oh, my style.
Figured.
What do you mean?
Nothing really. Just a couple days ago, I seriously considered Catherine to be the person who had left the note at my door. As it turned out, she signs hers.
Do you still want to talk?
I see her face, wasn't sure I would have been able to read her emotions even if she'd been right in front of me. I would like to talk, but our conversations can hardly be called a dialogue of late.
I'll see you in the city center in 2 hours.
Okay.
And don't be late this time.
Catherine almost commanded me and hung up the phone. You bet I won't, I said into the silence and went to my room to dress up.
No.
I didn't fancy the idea of coming to the meeting early and spending how long wandering there alone, so I was just sitting at the doorstep looking at Himitsu's house. Today was their big cleanup day, right? For me too, perhaps. A big mental cleanup day. I could open the windows, air out the smell of the dead feelings, throw away my musty thoughts, scrub the rust off the wrinkles of my brain, and polish my skull. Okay. A visit to a psychologist is a common occurrence in American movies. It isn't as widespread in Japan. I'm not sure whether psychologists even exist in the USSR. I could probably use one. Yes, you could use one. Mitsu's father's car approached the house. Gave him a nod of greeting, and he responded likewise. I wondered, would I already have a bullet in my head if Mitsu had told him everything that happened between the two of us lately? Or would a for sale sign appear in front of her house? Her father, Runi, I cannot say it,
Ryonosuke-san.
was too Japanese. I didn't remember her mother well, but she had seemed more friendly. No wonder they ended up divorcing. There was still an hour before the meeting with Catherine. If I walked slowly, I'd be right on time.
Okay.
Sometimes I thought that normal Japanese people only had 2 sets of clothes, a business suit and a casual outfit, only worn on weekends. And for their casual look, everyone went nuts. I wasn't really obsessed with fashion, but still tried not to stand out in a bad way. Although in Tokyo, a tall European guy always stands out no matter how he's dressed.
True.
Yeah. A man approached me on the street once and gave me the business card of a modeling agency. After that, I spent an entire evening looking at myself in the mirror and trying to figure out in what way I resembled a model. The clock in the window of the shop across the street told me it was the time we agreed to meet at. Tick-tack, tick-tack. I almost had enough of this. Catherine was just about a half hour late. As she decided to
Ah,
dump me again. Yeah, she tells him not to be late, and
then
Japanese
she is late. Come on.
Japanese people usually agree to meet at all the same places, near stations, at fountains, on squares, and at monuments. Why this shop, then? Because this was the place where we had our first kiss. Just like that on a busy street in the afternoon without shame in front of everyone. Maybe it was the most romantic place, but I couldn't wait anymore and she didn't seem to mind. But it all happened so long ago as if in a previous life. And now standing here losing the last remnants of my self-respect, waiting for who knows what.
Sorry.
There she is. Turned around to see Catherine standing in front of me. It was strange that she peered from that side. I thought you'd come from there. I waved my hand in the direction where our house used to be.
I don't need to take the subway anymore. Miscalculated the time a little. 1.5 late?
Stellar logic. Yeah, sure. The ones who come late to school always live closest to it. A little? I'd already stopped waiting for you.
Then what are you doing here?
He smiled. Quite generally as it seemed. Must be a habit too. Alright, let's walk. I can see the owner of the shop giving me suspicious looks. Of course, Katya knew what shop it was. She decided on the meeting point, but my words still made her blush and quickly lower her head.
Um,
Oh, oopsie. Go
what?
try.
Huh?
In chat.
Oh,
That's the little seahorse.
yeah, I want the.
It's so cute. For a while, we walked in silence. To be honest, I don't even know where to start.
Let's just not start this all over again for the 100th time, right? I think we already figured out who returned to where and why.
Okay, we have. I didn't have the strength to go over this again. Honestly, I just have no idea what else we should talk about.
Let's enjoy the silence then.
Do you need company for that?
Well, we could also chat. My Japanese is a little rusty.
You really need it though? In a year you'll be studying in college in the States.
Who knows?
She replied wistfully. There's no way you want to stay here.
And you?
Do I have a choice?
There's always a choice, but most people simply don't see it.
That's easy to say in your position.
It is.
One thing I always liked about Katya was her sincerity. Not honesty, no, she kept a lot to herself, even hid things, but she was never overly repressed and refused to adjust herself to others. She would disagree with or even offend older people if they were wrong, never idolizing anyone remotely successfully, as was common here.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! All of us caught it! Corey, you and me.
Yay! We have horses now.
She always had inner strength to be honest. I often felt a little intimidated around her, knowing she was a stronger person than I. That had been the case back then. Now she appeared to be just arrogant, petulant, bad-mannered girl who toyed with me, fully aware of my feelings.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, what's your plans for this future? Same as before?
Exactly the same as before. Nothing.
What would Mitsu say about that?
Do you care? Somehow it seemed to me that she did. Suddenly Catherine stopped and looked at me intently.
Do you still not know anything?
Now what? Spelling's easy if it's missing some vital detail.
I don't want people to think that I'm a fault here. I'm not interfering in your life or the relationship. The thought alone makes me feel gross, like I care.
Sort of thing was typical for Catherine. She was always overly obsessed with how she appeared to other people.
Just imagining it.
Catherine clenched her teeth angrily. Nobody's accusing you of anything. Just put yourself in my shoes. It seems to be too much of a coincidence.
Coincidence is a good way to put it. There is nothing more to it than that.
Betsy seemed oddly calm while saying it, but sure in reality she was much more agitated than the day before. We can forget all this and move on, I said unexpectedly even to myself, and stopped.
Forget?
She asked, startled.
Well, yes, it's the best option.
Nobody's at fault.
Yes, things just happened.
Things happened, and in the end...
Yeah.
That was the fastest and most ridiculous ending to any war in history. We achieved peace by destroying the population of both countries. That's why you decided to meet here, right? Catherine didn't reply, didn't even give me a look. All you said was in the city center, and I came here.
Because this is the most convenient spot, not too far from my place or from yours.
Well, it was definitely just a coincidence, nothing more than that.
Here you go again.
She let out a sigh. Just getting a little nostalgic, I beg your pardon.
I'm not going to shame you for that.
Catherine pretended to look at something on the other side of the street to hide her embarrassment. That's something.
You can't shame people for their memories.
It's a bad idea to point fingers to begin with. You have to start with yourself.
Is that a statement or advice?
Both, I guess. She paid zero attention to the obvious ambiguity of my words. Remember when you ditched your class because you had to fight with our English teacher?
Yeah, he was wrong, and I pointed out his mistakes.
In Japan, being older is more important than being right. Catherine laughed quietly.
And then you followed me.
She did. The class was boring anyway, and I wanted to get to know you better.
I guess you're not happy, you know me now.
Imitsu isn't for sure. Oh, that's for her.
Ah,
Yeah.
well, Imitsu isn't for sure.
Something tells me they did talk yesterday.
Yeah.
My entire life doesn't revolve around her, you know. Well, maybe it did now. Ah, he's starting.
Don't take that as an accusation. Quite the opposite.
What about you? Is there any dashing cowboy waiting for you in the U.S.? This joke fell flat and she didn't respond right away.
No.
Sorry,
I
it's
saw
none of my
you with
business.
strong accent until now. I thought she was Russian. I wasn't looking for one.
I told you, it's none of my business.
So you're not listening at all?
Ketchy finally stopped and gave me a
Interesting.
curious look. I don't know how to respond to that.
Relax, it was a joke.
You and your jokes.
By the way, do you want to drop by?
They just finally stopped things, said they don't want anything, and now she's inviting him over.
Yeah, like she's giving mixed signal.
Yeah, Catherine pointed at a building entrance next to us. Do you live here now? What was this?
It's more convenient than before, isn't it? And you still made it 1.5 hours late?
That makes no sense. Yeah, closer to our school. Wouldn't your mother mind me coming in?
She's at
Yeah.
work.
Talk about mixed signals. Ah, is that so?
I'm feeling you're misinterpreting the situation. No. What
I
did
can't-
you think of that?
Yeah, I can't imagine how else I could interpret it.
Okay, once again, I just don't want to be considered. I'm just being polite. It's Japanese hospitality. And your American name is Russian.
Yeah, you and I are very Japanese. Catherine smiled slightly, which somewhat calmed me down. Maybe it was time to stop pretending she was Hitler. She must have felt somewhat guilty as well. All right, let's go. Don't go with her. Oh my God, Nikolai. Oh my God.
She is stupid.
Yeah, he's a stupid male. No, he's a
Yes.
stupid person, because there are some females that would do this too. Catherine lived in a pretty large apartment. A place that spacious in the middle of Tokyo could only be afforded by very wealthy people. Or high-ranking diplomats. Not that Winter's family had much to complain about even in the past. Used to live in a decent multi-family housing block, although not in the most prestigious of districts. Did that mean her mother had been promoted?
Sit down already.
She's just being mean. Catherine said, very displeased with my studying her guest room for far too long. Everything looks so European. Oh yeah, I didn't even realize that, but it does. It does not look at all like...
But the calendar
Except-
seems Chinese. So, that's strange. Ah, wait, sorry. Do you find it weird? I thought you were waiting for...
Not really.
Do you want some coffee, tea?
Still couldn't figure out why Catherine had invited me here in the first place. No, thank you.
Stop acting like you're being interrogated.
Trust that she smiled. I'm sorry. You'd make a good policewoman.
Noted. Thanks.
So what did you want to talk about?
We should have talked it right away. I guess you're right about that.
Remained silent, afraid to interrupt when she was speaking so candidly.
Besides, I don't want you to think I did something wrong. I don't want someone else, anyone to think that. Because I didn't.
Gave me a furious look as if it was objecting.
Kizuka must have already told everyone at school. What?
Come on, he wouldn't. She did. Then why would she transfer to her school at all? Couldn't ask that question right now as much as I wanted to.
You're a terrible liar.
I feel like the first time someone told me as much.
Terrible, because you usually have nothing to lie about.
Because nothing happens in my life?
Isn't that true?
You want to teach me, or? Ooh. Betty stood at the side of the room looking out the window with a sad expression, arms folded over her chest. I'm not rushing you, just...
Put yourself in my shoes.
I can't, not because I don't want to, I simply can't. I don't know your situation. She smiled slightly and shifted her gaze to me.
You think I'm such a bitch, don't you?
I don't. Sometimes very often I don't really understand you.
Neither do I. I don't know what happened next. You think I have it easy? But you're responsible for your own life. You can make nobody can take you halfway around the world like a piece of luggage just because that's the job.
I know you don't like it here.
I don't like it.
Catherine smirked bitterly.
I have maybe one good memory of this country.
What is it? Suddenly, her expression changed.
Maybe you still like something?
Well, all right. Refusing twice would have just been impolite. She's gonna poison me. I just know it. Katya quickly walked to the kitchen, leaving me alone in the living room.
Poison.
What was
Run.
she talking about? It seemed like I was beginning to understand why she invited me here, but I was too afraid to admit it even to myself, so as to not be even more disappointed afterward. She would come back with hot tea in hand, cold, arrogant once again. I'd be able to think about how the two of us were about to make up. Maybe she didn't know what she wanted? I stood up and walked around the room. It was spotless, though not really that big. Phone hung on the wall. A small piece of paper with a telephone number was stuck next to it. Guess she hadn't memorized his number yet. I quickly grabbed a pen from the table and wrote the number on my hand. Catherine kept the place tidy, only a few notebooks carelessly scribbled scattered on the table, standing out in the general picture. Picked up one of them, flipped through it. Modern Japanese language. For a hard-working student with far-reaching plans to enroll in a prestigious college, she made too many mistakes. Without doubt, she would have needed Japanese in the United States. I looked more carefully. The way she wrote some kanji looked familiar to me. Was Kachi's handwriting similar to Kayasaki's? No, not really. It was too even. I started to turn over the pages furiously, looking for certain words. You, grave, people. Kanji and hiragana on the pages before me started to form into sentences. Nicholas, send me carefully. Grave danger, certain very powerful. Look to your father after you. This is not a prank or hoax. No doubt about it. That note was written in the same handwriting.
She
So
wrote it.
she did it.
Yeah.
On the notebook's cover is the same neat matter was written Catherine Winters. But how? Why? I started furiously flipping through other notebooks. It was all the same. But back then, during the break, I was sure the handwriting was different. Well, that's weird. I heard steps coming through the kitchen and got scared out of my mind.
Sorry it took so long. I don't usually drink tea, and you aren't a big fan of coffee.
What's the matter?
What's the matter with you?
Catherine asked, startled. Apparently, I looked weird, putting it mildly. Nothing. Good thing I managed to put the notebooks back where they had been.
Are you sure? You look like you're seen a ghost.
Smiled and put the cup on the table. I couldn't force myself to pick it up as I could feel my hand shaking. Suddenly felt terrified of being in the same room with this girl. I was absolutely sure the note wasn't a prank or a hoax. It would have been completely out of character for Catherine. If she decided to write something like this, it was serious, whether it was a threat or a warning.
Nikolai?
Oh yeah, sorry, I just remembered. I got some stuff to do. Katya looked at me carefully but didn't say a word. Bird stuff, I need to. Even under other circumstances, I wouldn't be able to come up with something urgent to do, especially something I forgot about. Catherine would never believe me like she didn't believe me now.
You don't feel comfortable being here?
She asked in a detached voice. No, don't say that. I just...
Right. When I finally decide to talk to you, off you go.
Catchy finished coldly nodding towards the exit. Yeah, thank you. I mean, bye. See you at school tomorrow. It took a considerable effort not to break into a run. When I left the building, I realized it was hard to breathe. My heart was pounding furiously. It took some time to come to my senses. I wondered if she was watching me out the window. Luckily, I was standing under a canopy, but I was standing far for way too long. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah. I love the
The,
music.
the
I
idea that
agree with
she wrote the note warning about danger and stuff. Don't ask about your family means she's involved.
yeah.
But how? Trying to keep a steady pace, I walked away from
Maybe the
Catherine's house.
mother's work.
Well, yeah, I know the mother's work, but Catherine's just weird. I don't understand her. Felt better among people away from her. Why did I rock like this? Yeah, I didn't want to think that Catherine would have made fun of me this way, but she's changed so much in over a year and a half. If she really wanted to warn me about something. The note mentioned my father's work. I doubted Cathy had anything to do with it but her mother.
Yeah, maybe they were co-workers.
I slowly walked away from the ever-busy center of Tokyo, and soon skyscrapers gave way to small houses huddled together. It was quiet as always. More importantly, it was serene. Catherine wouldn't have liked it. Maybe she just wanted to take revenge on me? But why would she invite me to her apartment and try to explain something? Dude, you're forgetting about the dead guy. What about the dead guy? Oh, there's a Sinisty. I still couldn't fully believe she was one to write the note. And what about the call? The voice had been clearly Mal. Even if I assumed that it was all Catchy's idea.
I still think it's the guy on the bar in the bar. I still think about.
Yeah, I think so too. Even, of course, everything could be much simpler. I could be simply overthinking it. Making sort of assumptions, but then why had my life been going a normal course until a week ago? And now everything was going down the road to hell. Still, this day would soon end, and a new one would begin. Few people on the streets walked with smiles on their faces. Sunday was possibly the only day off the entire week, so why would they be happy about going to work tomorrow? If I were to rethink the flow of Japanese life from Catherine's perspective, everything would seem much more depressing than I usually saw it. But was that really enough to treat me like she had? He needs to talk to Himitsu. Only reached home a half an hour later. It was stupid to think that Himitsu was waiting for me inside. There was only silence, even more deafening and contrast to the outside, where the evening birds sang their songs. I walked to the kitchen, poured a glass of water, and froze in something akin to delirium. What next? What was I supposed to do? How was I supposed to live? The note. I stormed the road, took the note out of the drawer. Yes, the handwriting was definitely the same. There's no doubt the note had been written by Catherine. Didn't even care for the why of it anymore. The only thing I wanted to know was why me? Why was she doing this to me? Why did she keep doing this to me? Oh, I didn't catch it this time. But I still couldn't shake off the thought of our conversation in her apartment today. She just didn't resemble a sadist or a spy. What if her handwriting was faked? Well, what for? I continued coming up with theories all based on my extraordinary importance. Maybe mostly because otherwise it meant Katya was doing all this out of resentment towards me, maybe seeking revenge. I didn't want to believe that. I simply couldn't force myself to. The ringing of the phone sounded peaceful, casual, but I flinched out of habit. It wasn't even evening yet. It seemed a bit early for assassins, spies, and other dissidents.
Well, it's never late, never early.
Yeah. Hello. My voice sounded unnatural even to myself.
Me, are you alright?
Why would Michael need me now? Never better.
Well, if you say so.
He continued after a short pause. It wasn't in his character to pry.
So you didn't forget anything?
Huh?
Oh.
No, what am I supposed to have forgotten?
We're planning to go to the cinema.
Oh. We were? Yeah, I don't remember this either. I really didn't remember anything like that. Maybe we actually did? Most likely at school. He asked, and I agree without even realizing what he was talking about. These days I only thought of one thing. Yeah, right, let's go another time. I have a headache and tomorrow we have classes, so... Didn't want to come up with a believable excuse in a situation like this. Michael would be as tactful as possible no matter what.
Alright, see you tomorrow then.
So long. I hung up and stared at the front door. I could have asked her what was going on. I was pretty sure Katya wouldn't have killed me there and then. Suddenly, I felt like I was missing something, a tiny detail, a trifle that was necessary to put this puzzle together. Or was it just a dream? All the time, 1.5 years ago, I often imagined that nothing had changed. I wake up the next day and everything would be the way it used to. Catherine hadn't gone anywhere, we were together and loved each other. And everything that happened in reality was just another nightmare. Turned out that my nightmare
Mm.
went on to become more horrifying with every minute, and not waking up at all would have been the better option. So I tried to find consolation with Humitsu after yesterday, and then suddenly I felt better. If only someone could see me now, what a pathetic sight. Yeah, I've always been prone to agonizing over my thoughts, but it never sunk to the point of self-pity, to the disgusting feeling that manifests when you think the entire world's blaming you and everyone's against you. Car stopped at Humitsu's house. Her father was back. And this already happened today? Recurrent events that have been too many of them during the past year and a half. The same day, the same day every month, the same day year to year, and in the end, a noose hanging from the ceiling of a 6 tatami room. Although I wasn't sure I'd even manage to hang myself tall as I was, things continued on the same course, even Humitsu would have had enough to leave me. So life itself was pulling me out of the putrid swamp by my hair and pushing me forward along the yellow brick road. With my companions, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and perhaps Toto as well. I wonder if I would have liked the comparison. But in order to move forward, you have to make decisions. For example, talk to Catherine about the note. I think you could have
True.
done that in her apartment, but you ran.
Yeah.
Ugh. But
And
not
you need to
today.
drink.
Yeah, I did.
You, you
Today,
drink so
I
much.
was too tired.
Me every day. Too tired.
Sunday night was descending upon Tokyo, a night that provided a chance to get that final bit of fun before Monday. The craziest, most desperate fun. So, half an hour later, I stood at the doors of the familiar bar. Inside, it was loud, filled with smoke, reeking of booze. It's normal for the Japanese to have a drink or two after work when hanging out with friends or on a date. It was considered acceptable, sometimes even obligatory. What kind of
There is the
corporate
same
event
guy.
would be without eating and drinking? Yeah, it is the same guy. The only problem was that most of them had little to no tolerance for alcohol. 2 or 3 beers was usually enough to take them out, call a taxi, carry them home on your back. That's why I didn't like drinking with the Japanese. No matter what, in an hour's time you were left alone. At
No.
that point, you're just wasting booze.
Oi, call. Yeah.
The bartender's greeting reached me through the noises of the crowd. He peeked over the heads of the people at the counter. Why had I chosen this bar and come here so often? I couldn't say it was close to my house. The bar sort of resembled a Soviet. There's a word.
Rheumachonia.
Ah,
Rheumachonia. I
we
don't
do
know.
not speak Russian, and
No,
definitely
no.
not because of the bartender.
Hey there. What can I get you?
I'll go for whiskey, double whiskey.
Whoa, something happened.
Yeah, life happened.
It's that bad.
Worse than usual.
I love to hear about it. The work is plenty, as you can see.
He smiled apologetically, poured me a glass, was about to take the bottle away when I stopped him by carefully grabbing his arm. Nikolai, no, this is whiskey.
Oh,
Don't drink the bottle. Leave it be. I'm partying tonight.
Colin, do you know how much the whiskey costs?
I don't, and I don't care. You have nothing over 5,000 yen anyway.
True enough.
Bartender guffawed, raced to the other end of the bar to greet a just arrived middle-aged man with reddish cheeks. Without the bartender around, it was little sense sitting at the counter, so I moved to a free table. A waitress approached me right away. They could be found here on the weekends, but I coldly told her I wasn't hungry. I didn't let her slip me a menu. Watching the drinking layman was kind of entertainment, too. They didn't really care about being overheard by others, many shouting as loudly as they could. Busy any bar in Tokyo on a Sunday evening, you might learn the sales manager Ibasti secretly hates his boss, that Secretary Minomi-chan cheats on her husband, Big Bucks Taki-san fears so much for his children's future that he can't sleep properly. The next day, they all go to work in a good mood, even if they couldn't manage to recall what they'd done or said the night before. That is bad, guys. Do not drink this much, especially at the full bottle of whiskey. Oh my god.
Well, we can say that Japanese life is so much stressful that it's the only thing that they can do.
Yes.
It's actually part of the
Say,
culture that
PSA,
after
don't
work they go drink.
say don't drink so much you can't remember the next day. Trust me on this one. Don't do that. Look to the
I never drink.
And as for me,
Eh,
a new
Is
girl
that
shows
seat?
up.
A new girl. Is that seat taken?
A young woman in a strict red business suit was standing in front of me. A European. Looked around the pub and realized there were no other free seats. No.
Oh, sorry, I'm just...
She laughed and put down one of the complicated cocktails from the bartender's vast collection.
It's rare to meet a non-Japanese person here. Oh, I didn't mean... It's my first time here, I don't know you. Sorry again.
She was clearly tipsy, laughed a lot, and had entered the condition where a decent lady needs but a half glass of champagne to become a chiffonier? Highly sophisticated, but still a piece of furniture. Oh, in other words, she's gonna pass out. Nonetheless, I was glad to have company, especially a woman's. My entire life couldn't revolve around two girls who didn't know what they want. I guess you're right. We're probably the only Europeans who visited this bar in its entire history. Not counting the bartender, of course. I smiled, trying to look friendly.
Do you come here often?
She looked to be about 25, perhaps older. Sometimes. So, you like
So you like it?
No, I don't like this place. I mean, I asked you the same place a couple minutes ago. It's more like I'm used to it.
Interesting.
She said vaguely and riveted her eyes on me.
You must be a student?
Yeah, sort of. For some reason, I couldn't lie persuasively to her and started to avert my eyes. Couldn't say I was just a high schooler.
Yeah. Todai? It's from the school.
How did you guess?
It just seemed that you're kind of handsome and intelligent young man must study there. Oh no, she's from the school.
I have a feeling. She abruptly stretched her hand out to me.
Iran Dupont, parlez-vous français? Je parle un peu français.
I was embarrassed but responded with a handshake. Nikolai Enikin.
Oh, so you're from the USSR?
And without letting me say a word, continued.
Moscow is a wonderful city. I've been there. The Kremlin, the Red Square. Are you from Moscow?
Maybe from...
Maybe
oh, she's
Leningrad?
going... Oh my
A
god.
manifest place, famous museum. Have you ever there?
Say I'm from here.
Oh, that's interesting. I must have arrived recently.
Granted, I could barely hear an accent.
Oh no! So, wait, what should I do?
I don't trust this woman.
I work as an attendee at an embassy. Everything here is so...
Erin spread her arms, clearly showing exactly so everything was.
But unfortunately, I don't really have much free time. Like today, we went out with my Japanese colleagues, but I lost them already. What a good thought.
Broke into loud laughter.
Can you imagine?
It happens. I was flattered by the attention of a girl like this, or should I say a woman. Her beauty wasn't the same kind as the girls I knew, maybe Ellie, but even she lacked Irene's mature charm. Stop falling for another woman, you really got two.
Yeah. So here I am now, sitting all alone. Oh, sorry, I meant to say with you, of course, you.
Cover my hand with hers.
Thank you, Nikolai, for accompanying this poor, silly mademoiselle.
Thanks to you too.
But enough about me. What about you? What do you study?
Straightened up and removed her hand. Well, I don't even know. What a dumb thing to say. We just have some general subjects for now. I haven't chosen my major yet. Maybe something in liberal arts.
Can you do that?
Just with surprise. That's what I would have really liked to know myself. Of course, it's today after all.
It's good to be young.
Irene said. I decided it was my opportunity. Come on now, if not for your suit, I think you were a student as well. She laughed. Do they make diplomats work on the weekends too?
On weekends, on holidays, and believe it or not, July the 13th.
Even July 14th? That's going too far.
Yeah, not like the USSR. Although, work is right. The international. Let's sing, Nikolai.
Irene, I don't think that...
Come on, we're singing the Denkans. Where are we worse? How are we worse?
Drunk group in the corner was indeed until belting out a love song. I think that will be misunderstood.
Don't care about the other people's opinions so much.
Don't you? You're a diplomat. For a second, she froze, her eyes cleared up, and certain awareness, even coldness, appeared in her gaze. The next moment, she burst out laughing. Okay, I don't think she's as drunk as she planned to be. It's a trap!
My God, I'm so drunk. Nikolai, has nobody ever told you that you're handsome? She sees us.
Yeah. She's 20-something-year-old hitting on a high schooler and knows too much. I'd be lying if I
And
said
she's a
no.
diplomat. There, there. Can I also say that? No, no, wait. She didn't say she's a diplomat. He said it.
Yeah, I didn't know what to think. Half an hour ago, I considered myself an adult. At least was very sure I could behave like an adult in any situation. Now it turned out that it took only one drunk French girl and a diplomatic Bauer to shadow those assumptions. On the other hand, Irene looked very attractive, even too attractive. While talking, I managed to down a third of the bottle. Oh, he's gotten drunk too. Bad. Bad boy. But then would have set sights even on Saya-chan.
Nikolai, you're looking at me so.
Whiskey washed away the last remnants of my timidness. Aye, that's the way anyone would look at a beautiful woman like you if they were in my place.
Nikolai, you're saying this to a woman you just met?
Our acquaintance doesn't have to end here, does it? Nikolai! Oh my god, he's too drunk.
Nikolai!
If he brings her home, Himutsu will be done with him. Yeah. Irene blushed, now seeming from more than us alcohol, leaned towards me, whispering in my ear.
Let's get out of here.
My hands were shaky when I dropped a few large bills on the table.
Please, monsieur. I don't know what Pokemon it is.
She stood up and unsteadily stumbled for the exit. I leaped to her immediately and offered a hand, which she grabbed right away and sagged against. Don't do this.
Finally, fresh air.
When we emerged onto the street, she made a deep breath and pressed herself to me.
We should catch a cat.
I doubt somebody would stop.
What a leg. The leg thing.
She laughed, walked closer to the roadway, and waved her hand. I couldn't believe my eyes when a minute later a car stopped next to her. And what a car. An executive black sedan. Apparently wasn't the only one struck by her beauty. This sounds like a trap. Do not get in this car. Oh my god. Irene called to me merrily. Well, it seemed that the fairy godmother lost her magic wand in a bet because Cinderella was going to come back from the ball with company. What's more, in a carriage instead of a pumpkin.
Well, the mouse.
At first, I didn't even pay attention to the fact the car's windows were blacked out.
Well, Nikolai, you're obviously not pretending.
Irene said calmly. What?
Let's go.
She nodded to the driver and looked at me with such antipathy that I started fidgeting in the seat. Irene, what's going on? I told you he's being kidnapped. Her drunk joyfulness vanished without a trace.
My name is Irina Mostovaya. Major Irina Mostovaya. KGB USSR!
Oh my god. KGB. He got picked up by the KGB? And only then did I realize she was speaking Russian with no hint of an accent. I mean, yeah, why would a Russian girl have an accent? No matter how long you learn a language, it's different from your mother tongue. No matter how long you live in a foreign country, it'll always be clear you weren't born and raised there. That's how it seemed to me, at least. Is this a joke? I still didn't fully realize what was happening.
That's what I like to ask you.
What does this have to do with me?
Do you really not recognize me?
No? He frowned. No? Should I?
Never mind. From here on, you only answer my question and only with a relevant and consistent answer. Do you know what happened to your parents?
We got in a car accident. They died. I remember sitting in the back, so I survived. Is that not true?
I am the one asking the question here. Jeez.
And if you want to hear the answers, I expected dialogue. I said with unexpected determination. Marina bit her lip angrily.
Yes, they died in a car accident, but their death wasn't a coincidence. That's all you need to know for now. What do you know about their work?
So my parents were murdered because of their work?
Yes.
She gave a short response. Kobayashi Corporation. It wasn't a question.
So, what do you know?
I know nothing. You're interrogating the wrong person. I'm just a student. What's more, an orphan?
You must have recognized that Kobayashi Corporation wouldn't be interested in a mere student.
Why me?
Because you're the son?
I didn't expect the KGB. I gotta say that. I
Me
did
neither,
not.
me neither, the KGB. Mm.
Tokyo was slowly moving on the other side of the windows. I had no idea where we were going. I didn't care. It was unlikely that they were going to kill me. Are you sure about that?
You
Their
should,
hearts in the bar was
the
just a
KGB has a
test.
very,
To my
it's
surprise, I was
very,
able to think clearly, analyze the situation with a sober mind.
that's what we like to find out.
So all these calls to my house, were they made by the corporation?
No, they were from us. We wanted to warn you. Jeez. But we didn't feel compelled to heed to our warnings.
What should I do then?
Are you sure you don't know anything? Think again. Maybe your father told you something and you forgot about it? Or maybe he left something to you? Papers, documents?
I really couldn't recall anything like that. We were a completely normal family.
So, in your views, a family of Soviet engineer who fled from the USSR and started working for the biggest transitional company in Japan is normal?
Smart. That everything was normal.
Was it? Or do you simply not remember?
Even if I couldn't believe my parents had been involved in something they could be killed for. Even if what you say is true, I don't know anything about that. I've never known.
I found that hard to believe.
See, I don't, because a child doesn't pay attention to their parents' work. Half the time, if you ask
Yeah.
a kid what their parents do for a living, they come up with the weirdest stuff. It's not actually what it is. You can believe whatever you want. I started using the polite version of Russian you without thinking, but still, it was all clearly related to me somehow, to my family. Catherine's note, having them believe as much was already enough.
Nikolai,
Irina sighed.
have you completely forgotten about your obligation to our motherland?
Oh, this is trouble. I don't remember
Gee.
having any in the first place.
Like that.
Her eyes flashed, but she managed to stay calm and continued.
So you think you have it better here? Is in the country that killed your parents?
Why should I trust you anyway? Better? I don't know, but until recently I've been living a peaceful life before you dragged me into this.
We didn't drag you into anything. On the contrary, we're trying to protect you.
What's the KGB?
Damn.
Just calm down there. What a wonderful
No,
protection. What does it amount to
KGB
exactly?
actually is no, the KGB is commonly known as very, very angry people. In order to
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, in order to receive something, you need to give something in their return first.
I don't have anything.
Stop mocking me.
She shouted suddenly.
You know everything. Just tell me what the Japanese want, and we can bring you home. Or do you think we've managed to fool me?
Why would you think they need something from me if you're the ones who called? And the note was written by Catherine.
At the moment, it's none of your business.
And what do you expect from me? Irina calmed down and stood study with me, unblinking stare for some time.
Fine, we'll handle it ourselves. You keep your hands down. Stay away from all this. What?
That's it? That simple?
Would you like to be complicated?
Still have questions.
Which won't be answered if you want to leave.
Yeah, they're here to help, uh-huh.
If you're telling the truth, if you're telling the truth, then the less you know, the better. Only sources of information have value. Ordinary students are not interested anyone. But to be prepared to remain under surveillance for a while. Why?
By you?
Us, among the others, or do you want an accident to happen to you as well?
I felt a strong dislike toward this woman. Couldn't believe that just 5 minutes ago I'd been hoping for some quick sex with a random acquaintance. Although in a way, I got what I want, except I was the one getting fucked, yeah?
Yeah. One more thing, behave normally. Nobody would know real stuff. Anything can expose you. Go to school, hang out with your girlfriend. Drink is not finished.
Car stopped smoothly.
We are around. Get out.
I could make out the silhouette of my house behind the window. Hope you didn't see me brought home like this. I had the time to think.
And keep in mind, we do not repeat ourselves. So do yourself a favor and remember everything I've just told you. Damn.
She at all. Was Zuri's back down with blacked out windows appear on the corner almost silently. Stood at the entrance to my yard, Miley's was watching it go. That's when I started to shake, almost spasm in fear. How would I manage to remain outwardly calm and think straight? My legs carried me to my house on their own accord. Yeah, I'd be
My God.
terrified at this point. I'm sorry, the KGB just picked you up. I closed the
Yeah.
door and the garden door and another one and all the
Oof.
windows and I had so many windows. Wish I had a gun. I don't blame him.
Use the guitar.
I lay in bed staring into the darkness with dry eyes. I was obvious that the Czechist wouldn't come back, at least not today. And what about the Japanese? If they kept me under surveillance, they could have seen me hop into that car. The only hope I had was those KGB agents knew what they were doing. Catherine, what did you drag me into?
Technically, it's your parents.
This is where you don't talk to Catherine. You talk to Himitsu and just
No.
don't do anything.
Yeah. Then do it.
This is bad. This is really bad. We went from a love
Yeah.
story to KGB. And my
The
parents and I were returning from a
KGB.
countryside trip. Oh, he might be having a memory. We wanted to see the
Ooh.
Japanese outdoors, observe the sakura blossoms. My father talked nonstop, but I wasn't listening to him. All my thoughts were centered around Catherine. We hadn't seen each other much over the break. I wonder if she missed me. I sure did. Mostly, I think, because I would stay at her place till late, and Mrs. Winters would usually come home after midnight. So we could sit, lie, and stand. In the bedroom, guest room, bathroom, or even the hallway with the walls thin enough to hear the neighbors walk by. Are you listening to me? My father shouted. But I had other things on my mind. And then I woke up in a hospital. Oh, so that's what happened. So last thing he heard is his
Oh.
father say, "Are you listening to me?" And yeah, bruises, abrasions, a broken arm, things could be way worse. Maybe if I'd been listening to him.
Hey, you should have done something at least.
Yep. People always say it's better to sleep on it, but bullshit. Especially if you
Yeah.
couldn't sleep the whole night. In this case, I'm trying to sleep on it didn't help at all. I could barely think straight. In the past 8 hours, I imagined virtually everything being interrogated in the confines of the KGB, being exposed to ancient Japanese torture by people from the corporation, just being executed by single shots to the head. It was all wrong. A human being can't feel fear constantly. At some point, the mind's defense mechanisms kick in and you simply stop caring about anything that might happen to you. And unexpectedly, I realized I was worried about Himitsu much more than about my life. She was the closest
Ooh.
person I had, meaning they could get to her as well. Catherine?
Mhm.
Her mother could protect her, and somehow I was confident that she could take care of herself. Weak and cowardly person wouldn't have written that note, wouldn't have cared someone other than herself. Was she really worried
Mhm.
about me? Pleasant shiver ran through my entire body, so she have seeming long forgotten. What if she had her own circumstances I simply knew nothing about? And then, could I lose her too? It was incredibly difficult to answer the who do I love question even to myself, especially my current condition. There was one thing I knew for sure. Both of them were important to me. Now more than ever. I rolled to my other side and looked at the clock. It was still pretty early, but I no longer had the energy to stay in bed. I could try to fall asleep, but Irina gave me clear instructions to behave as usual. Actually, skipping school was behaving as usual, wasn't it? Which meant not skipping classes without a good reason. I disagree with that statement.
Yeah.
A hangover could be one, but I simply didn't have enough time yesterday to reach that point.
Well, but
Wobbling
still,
and
you did
grasping
the
at the
whole
walls,
process.
I, I managed to walk to the kitchen. Coffee would be nice, but I never liked it, so I never had any at home. Only had tea and aspirin. Surprisingly, my head
Oh.
didn't ache. I sat down in a chair and came to my senses. Only a minute later, I had been staring thoughtlessly in front of me, complete exhaustion. Maybe not coffee, but I definitely had alcohol. Just a couple glasses would make me sleep like a log. Marina's furious expression surfaced my mind. Good thing she believed in me, although she didn't want to. She thought I was hiding something, lying to her. God, was this really happening? I pinched myself until I bled. Nope, not a dream. Somehow hot tea brought me to my senses. Was it time to prepare for school? They didn't really have anything to prepare. My homework wasn't done. I had no idea what class I was even supposed to have today. Yeah, he's definitely not ready. Oh, ads are in
Yeah.
2 minutes. They're 3 minutes long, and then we have another hour of uninterrupted, right? Because This is hour 2, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost.
Wow, but time is flying by
You are
today.
almost done with me, Val.
No, don't say it like that. I love being here.
Days are
Come
becoming
on.
days are becoming shorter. It would have been already been light outside at this hour a week ago. I was slowly walking the familiar road, occasionally looking over my shoulder, but not too obvious. Someone could be watching me. Someone probably was. That's what Arenas had said. So the
Mhm.
KGB were on the corner. There were corporation goons around the fence and Japanese counterintelligence in the bushes. I smirked despite it myself. People say you can find a positive side to any situation. I once started to write a novel, then dropped it. It was about love, sure, but what would stop me from adding a detective subplot? Well, here is something positive about a poor student becoming prey to the powers that be. A Soviet Japanese student. Like a mini Tom Clancy. Except he didn't have a submarine to give to Americans and thus escape.
Mm.
I walked into the classroom and sat behind my desk. Was I the first in class today? Probably for the first time in my life. Wasn't he supposed to behave
Wow.
normally? That's not behaving normally.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
wouldn't take long for me to start volunteering to go to the blackboard, get straight A's, hang myself in the Hall of Fame. Unless, of course, someone would hang me first in less crowded place. Oh my god. Head of red hair appeared in the doorway.
Love it.
Nikako? Oh, that's just you.
Good. Are you here?
Imagine that! I responded loudly.
Thank you.
Why are you sneaking around? Nobody's here yet.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yuzu laughed
What
and
if?
walked to my
What
desk.
if? Hear me out. What if Mitsu is one of the Japanese people?
Oh no, you don't think they made them neighbors just so that he would have someone to talk to, and it's all a trap?
Well, if you think about that, there are a lot of opportunities in case they can get information when they were a child. Like, oh, I see my parents do
That
this,
if
this, and
that's the
that. So,
case, both Himitsu and Catherine are bad. Don't do
yeah,
that.
maybe there are like Catherine is from the mother is from the Americans. She is from the Japanese, and then there is Nikolai, who is followed by the KGB.
No.
You were at home this morning, but still, it's a theory. Mine, it's a theory.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep and decided to go to school early.
Good.
She smiled cutely.
Good that you have decided not to skip classes.
Me skipping? I would never do that. I'm determined to become a straight A student and get into the top 10.
You're probably exaggerating.
Just a smidge. Fine, the top 20 then. Himitsu took a little parcel out of her backpack.
Here, bento.
Ooh, yum. Thank you.
Mhm.
I was truly moved. Whatever happened in my life, only Himitsu's feelings toward me remained the same. Feelings I neither appreciated nor deserved. Ah, about time you realized that. Wonder what happened if back then No, I don't want to know. Not at all.
Mm-hmm. Are you okay? You look weird today. Oh, you just drunk himself.
I told you, didn't sleep well. Himitsu looked at me suspiciously, but clearly couldn't find a reason to pry further.
Well, all right. Are we going home together?
What about lunch?
I can't make it this time. Sorry. Have we have something to do with my classmates?
Alright, see you then.
See you.
She smiled generally again and walked away. What did I even need a Catherine for? Exactly, dude!
Yeah.
Students gradually started to fill the classroom. Many of them gave me surprised looks. Had they not expected to see Anakin this earlier at all? Paying no attention to anyone in his path, Kaizaki breezed into the classroom and started cheerfully to greet all of the guys. Hi, Raven. Good morning.
Good morning.
Michael calmly sat behind his desk, opened one of his books. I thought I should probably ask him at some point what it is he reads all the time. I was constantly looking at the clock. There were just a few minutes left before the bell, but here came
No.
Catherine. Of course.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, she's passed by saying nothing but a short.
Hi.
Couldn't say she looked normal. I didn't even know what normal was for her anymore, and what wasn't. I didn't know anything about her, didn't know her. Conversation with Irena and this whole spy thriller business shifted my mind away from Catherine and my never-ending romantic indecision. I knew perfectly well that the main source of agitation for me was not the note itself, but the fact that Katya had been the one to write it. Of course, there was chances she wrote it with good intention. She might have wanted to warn me about something. But really, it was like we were playing a goddamn game of charades. Yeah, because she never mentioned anything after that. The lesson didn't last forever. I wasn't listening to the teacher at all, focused on my own thoughts. I had to decide what to do from now on. Keep my head down, acting normally as per Arena's advice, or try to find something out as per common sense. Maybe I was just a student, but I want to trust other people with the right to determine my destiny like a cow on a farm. If I was lucky, the BB gun would break and I'd be allowed a couple extra days of grazing. Or maybe they'd handle me like traditional way, knocked out with a sledgehammer. And though I had no one to
Yeah,
ask about the KGB, there was something other than Ellie I could ask about the corporation. That's true. We can ask the girl. During lunch, I
yeah.
approached Michael and offered to eat together. Oh, Michael knows everything. That's true too.
Yeah. Great,
Okay.
let's go.
Wait, when did he get invited? Because I've been over nearby, apparently waiting for the right moment. You know, we have something to discuss. Ads are over. We are back. Hello, everyone.
A
Final
new job
hour.
is shit happening during the break. So,
Well, just
wow.
the KG. Well, the KGB started before the break, so.
I think, yeah, but still, you lose this, you have lost my theory. That's bad, guys.
That's why
You
you get
for
subs. A-
you need the stop. Come on.
Adult stuff, not anime, you wouldn't understand.
Screw
Oh,
you.
that was rude.
Yeah,
Michael didn't react to my somewhat strange behavior in any way.
yeah.
Found a spot behind a vacant table, put Humus's bento in front of me, and waited for Michael. Soon he
Think if the
returned
bento is empty,
with a
will be
tray in his
hilarious.
hands and took the seat opposite from me. Pretty quick today.
Yes, almost no you.
Oh,
Lucky you.
he said
But
calmly,
wait.
pointing at my bento.
Uh,
Yeah, happens. I grinned like an idiot. The canteen was too noisy, so suppose we finished our food quit and went up to the roof. Actually, it's probably safer talk anyway, less bugs.
yeah.
How was
Well,
your How was your weekend?
there is a bush. You can hide in there. Not quite as planned. He
What
said the
happened?
first
Oh yeah, because
movies.
of the movies. Yeah, he didn't show up. He replied briefly.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, sorry.
I get it. You must be having a lot of problems.
What makes you think that?
It's pretty obvious.
Obvious, is it? I'm like an open book to you.
So, what do you want to talk about? You didn't invite Kizuka. Something serious? No.
Still didn't decide whether I could trust Michael, and if I did, to what extent. Of course, telling him the whole truth would be a mistake, but if I wanted his help, I had at least give him a general idea of the situation. Your father's work is related to Kobayashi Corporation, right?
I say his company is just a business partner.
What do they do with this
Still,
corporation? What kind of business? Michael looks surprised.
what kind? All kinds. It's a transactional company, remember? They work with virtually everything, from stuffed animal to satellites. He's from them. From the Japanese.
Well, that was already clear. Okay, what does your father's company do?
Construction.
What kind?
Civil construction.
Construction.
Civil
Oh,
construction.
you know what that means? That's
No.
government.
Oh, I told you! He's from them!
So Himitsu's not the spy that was made to be his friend. This guy
So
is.
maybe Michael is the spy.
That
And
was close, but not quite it. I doubt
capturing
that my parents
is
were
the
killed over a
daughter.
poorly designed bridge. Got it. Thanks.
Should I ask you why you were interested?
Probably not.
Can I ask my father something if you want? I can ask.
How was I supposed to respond to that? If what Michael said was true, it was unlikely his father was connected to the corporation's shady dealings. No, Nate, I don't think it'll help me much.
Nick, if you're involved in something dangerous, it might be better to talk to
He went silent for a second, remembering my family situation.
an adult.
Yeah, right. Adults haven't helped me much lately. In fact, adults have dragged me into this. True.
I hope you know what you're doing.
Me too. With the conversation seemingly over, Michael's about to return to our classroom. I'll hang around a bit longer. You go ahead.
Sure.
He shrugged. Wondered where Catherine had her lunch. I never saw her with a bento and didn't recall her cooking herself. I started to feel sleepy again. Luckily, the canteen had coffee. A few gulps of the nasty sour swill woke me up in an instant. Just like Japanese people had a low tolerance for alcohol, I had a relatively low tolerance for caffeine. My heart was beating
Yeah.
so fast, I felt like I had a 100-meter dash. Yeah, me too. Walking through the school corridors, I felt almost safe. After all, this place had too many people to... To what? Irina told me the resource that possessed information is a valuable resource. Therefore, it would be worthwhile to increase my value and hence my chance of survival by obtaining information.
No, you get more risk.
Yes. The classroom was interrogated by Kayasaki almost immediately.
So,
What?
how did the lunch go?
Fine.
Good for you.
He made an annoyed face, clearly expecting me to apologize, at least feel guilty. Let's talk about this another time, okay? For the rest of the day, I could only think about one thing. To be more precise, about a number of things that actually recently brought variety into my life. May you live in interesting times, was it? I felt uncomfortable knowing that Catherine was sitting behind me. What if she was staring at my back the whole time? What was she thinking about? What was she doing? Maybe she was writing another note? Drinking that coffee was a mistake. I could have slept during class. I doubt anyone would try to wake me up. Such behavior was the norm for Nikolai etiquette, and fighting it was as effective as jousting windmills. Marina told me to behave normally. If only I knew where the border of normalcy was drawn. Class was finally over. The crowd at the shoe lockers was full of happy chatter. Some were about to go to the movies, some to karaoke, some on dates. Changed my shoes and walked into the schoolyard, stopped for a minute, and felt infinitely alone as I watched students quickly walked past, paying zero attention to me. Like a yellow leaf in a river caught on a piece of wood. Okay, do not go to Catherine. You're waiting for Himitsu.
No.
But I wasn't the only one. Catherine was standing at the gates, clearly waiting for someone with a bored expression on her face. She wasn't looking in my direction, but I wasn't moving either. Simply because I didn't know what to say, not to mention I outright hadn't slept in 2 nights and didn't have the mental energy to come up with something sensible to start a conversation with. It seemed like something like this had already happened before when I ran after her, caught her by the hand, and she threatened to scream. Felt like a moment had happened way over a week ago. Though I wasn't just afraid to approach her, I feared even to appear in her line of sight. Was I afraid she'd notice me? Was I afraid to simply walk out of the school gates, leave that safe territory? Finally, a car stopped near Catherine, and she got in. Since when was Catherine picked up from school like that, I wondered. Now everyone here had a personal driver. Couldn't remember Miss Winters doing anything like that before. Could she be in danger too? There she is. Himizu's cheerful voice came from behind me. I flinched in surprise and turned around.
How was the bento?
She asked, running up to me. Very good, thanks. I wouldn't be able to say what had been in it, even my life depended on it. Definitely had some rice, though.
How was your day?
Very tiring. I wonder if she saw me stand there staring at Catherine. What about you?
What about? Wonderful. We were getting ready for the school festival. Our class wants to make a cafe.
For a second, she felt silent and embarrassed.
Do you think I look good in a maid outfit? Yes, you have the specific
I'm
one.
sure you would.
Would you come by? We have cupcakes, shortcake, and layer cakes.
That would get me there. Yes,
Me
please.
too.
I'm already
I'm
practicing
already
cooking them at home, but I'm not letting you try any
I'm
yet. Just in case.
practicing
Oh, sorry, that was
mine.
her. But which cake would you
I'm
eat
already
first?
practicing. We wrote read about the cake. We are starting. I'm already practicing cooking them at home, but I'm not letting you try them yet, just in case.
Probably with that many choices, I would have choice paralysis because I like all those kinds of cakes.
Yeah, me too. I would like which one? Which one? I want them all.
Exactly.
But
That
I
would be
can't.
so hard. Himisu laughed and I looked away
Yeah.
innocent. So much so that I found it hard to look at her.
What's your class gonna do?
Oh, he's gonna have no idea. For the
Yeah,
school
for sure.
festival, you mean? As if I knew. We're putting on The Prince and the Pauper. He's made
Really?
that up. No.
Yeah. Hey.
We haven't decided yet. Graduation class, exams and all that. I lied. Let's go? I took Himitsu by the hand and left the schoolyard, looking straight ahead.
Nico-kun.
She really tried to protest, but her hand did not let go of mine. Himitsu kept telling me about her class plans for the school festival, but I wasn't really listening. Why was Catherine picked up by a car? Was that a one-time thing, or would this happen always from now on? She could not have noticed that yesterday I was basically in panic when I fled her apartment. Kachi was a smart girl, would probably draw the right conclusions. To add to that, whatever reason she had to leave the note, Catherine clearly knew more than I.
Hello, hearts to Nico-kun?
Huh? What?
You're sleeping on your feet.
Himitsu said kindly. That's exactly it.
Maybe you should have stayed home today after all.
Yeah, tell that to Irina. Nope, definitely shouldn't have. Definitely not today.
Why not?
I looked at Himitsu's beautiful surprised face and knew that what I had to do. I had to tell her what had happened yesterday, because she too could be in danger, because she was the only person in the whole wide world whom I could trust. I love you.
Aww.
Oh my god, he just said it. He said it.
Oh,
I said seriously. She stopped and froze with an expression of utter shock on her face.
Nico, cool.
We need to talk. I need to tell you something important.
Oh no.
Why would expression
Why?
sadden? Strange that she'd be glad about the confession.
Yeah.
Oh, she
But
doesn't
you
believe
see
him.
now, it's not true. Oh.
Let's go. We'll talk at home. She followed me limply, automatically, her head cast down.
Why?
We were silently sitting in the kitchen, avoiding each other's eyes. What I had said about love, was it really necessary? Some words can't be taken back. And I was sure Himitsu knew full well that I wasn't telling him the truth. At least that my words meant something different from what she wanted. But let that be a noble lie, and I was about to tell her the truth here and now. The truth that she had to know, the truth that was currently more important. Alright, so I took a deep breath, stood up in the chair, and walked from one end of the kitchen to another. Promise you won't interrupt. He showed no reaction to my words. So it all started about a week ago with Catherine's return, yes, but not only and not mainly about her. The same day in the evening, I found a note at my door. It asked me to be careful, said I was in danger because of my parents' work. After these words, she livened up and gave me an uncomprehending look. Wait a second. I rushed to my room, took the note from the cat, returned to the kitchen, and gave it to Himitsu. See, it's not a joke.
Nico-kun.
Wait, don't interrupt. I was very agitated and wasn't looking at her, instead walking to the doors to the garden. But there's more. The next day I got a phone call in Russian and was told to be careful. Then I was followed in the city. And finally yesterday I was interrogated by a Soviet agent, a KGB agent. KGB, understand? I paused. Himitsu didn't react, just kept looking at me, but in addition to surprise, her eyes now also expressed worry and pity. She said my parents didn't die by chance, that it wasn't an accident. They were killed.
But why?
She uttered in a strained voice. Because of their work for the Kobayashi Corporation for that damn company. She also warned that I'd be watched by, well, everyone who possibly can. I giggled nervously. Russians, Japanese, probably even Americans.
Americans? I told you.
Why not? They got like a constant beef with the USSR. Although that was just my own speculation. Mitsu once again turned the note in her hand, studying it carefully.
Did they write it?
No, I don't know. That was probably enough truth for today. Considering her and Catherine's relationship, it wasn't hard to imagine if I said the note was from the latter, she'd go for a knife. But the call was definitely made from someone from the KGB. That's what the agent said.
And what they want for you?
Nothing. As she said, they want to protect me from the Japanese and the Kobayashi Corporation. They said they think they have some kind of information, data passed on by my father.
Do you?
Mitsu said seriously. No, if I did, I would have given it all to them right away and kept on living peacefully. Long silence followed. I was desperately waiting for Mitsu's reaction, but she wouldn't say anything, just sat there, her feet on the chair, arms around her knees, her face hidden behind them. They can't blame her. This is a lot to be hit with.
Yeah.
Say something, please. Suddenly she jumped off the chair, ran up to me, embraced me firmly, pushing her whole body up against mine.
Yoko, forgive me, please.
Mitsu was bawling. Sunshine, what for? You didn't do anything wrong.
No, I don't know that something like this happened to you. I was acting terribly. I was thinking about myself. Yeah, that's normally what you should
No.
do. Nico-kun, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we just stood there wordlessly drowning in each other's embrace. Finally, I took Misa by the shoulders and gently pushed her away. The most important thing you should know is that I don't want to involve you. It's just the KGB, the corporation, anything could happen.
I'll help you. Go.
She said resolutely. No, absolutely not. I raised my voice. The KGB woman told me not to show any sign that I might know something, told me not to act normally, and that what are we gonna do? Got it. I don't want to sit up. Fine. Mita pursed her lips unhappily, but conceded.
Fine.
So, and to act normally does involve her because she's there every day.
Yeah. And I won't be able to sleep well at night anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying that that I'm in no danger, but she's right about one thing. The Japanese need something from me, and they'll leave me alone when they realize I don't have it.
If you think so.
Mita smiled with some effort. She might have read more romance novels and mysteries, but I wasn't as naive. Unwanted witnesses get disposed of. And when they realized I didn't have the information they needed, they would quickly figure out that I knew a lot of unwanted things about the corporation. And now I really need to get some sleep.
I'm not leaving.
She protested. Remember what I told you? Act normally. Don't arouse suspicion.
But Nico-kun.
No buts. For a little while, he must have fidgeted in place.
Fine, but be careful.
Careful where? At home? What am I at risk of here? Burning myself with hot water or slipping in the bathroom? I grinned. Himister didn't react. She stepped close to me and said,
And also...
rose on her tiptoes, pulled me close, and gave me a firm kiss.
Cute.
I responded to it, but meekly feigning surprise.
For luck.
We all could use some. Ymitsu left while I remained in the kitchen, deliriously staring at the note on the table. I could use some sleep, but my exhaustion seemed to have passed the threshold where I unlocked a second wind. Where you're outwardly building it full of vigor, but your mind can barely function. Oh, I hate it when that happens. So I was simply staring into space, my mouth open, having forgotten where I was and what was happening. But the talk with Ymitsu left behind a pressing feeling of understatement and uncertainty. Was I really like a cow in a butchery, waiting to see what fate awaited me? And if only it was me alone. But who could help me now? Who knew about my parents' work? He chose to understand. The answer presented itself. The time for an IC had passed. If need be, I was ready to beat the information out of him. Well, that's true. That guy's not dead. Except nobody picked up... Or maybe he is. Nobody picked up the phone. Waited for at least a minute and received nothing but dial tones in response. Perhaps he wasn't home? Called again and again. Finally, an agitated female voice came from the receiver.
Ikonozaki asshole.
You need to talk to your husband.
My husband?
The woman was clearly nervous.
Who are you?
I'm an acquaintance.
He's not here.
When will he be back?
He hasn't been home for several days. Do you know where my husband is?
Yeah, they killed him too.
Yeah.
I quickly hung up the phone. So they got to him too. Well, that was to be expected. My parents were killed. That Akira Shinjo supposedly died from a heart attack. Each of them has come home in several days. Was the corporation really getting rid of witnesses? In that case, maybe it was a good thing I didn't know anything. Anyone who actually didn't seem to live long. And what was the difference between a human and a resource for them? I wanted to sleep so badly that no strength remained to worry about anything else. With effort, I reached my room and fell onto the bed.
The door. Close the door.
I dreamed of having a broken arm that instead of plaster, I was just given a split that constantly threatened to slip off. It also turned out the arm was fine. I had been brazenly tricked by the hospital. Then Kiyosuke came and started loudly laugh at me. It's a dream. And finally the phone rang. Oh no, it's the phone. Walked to it and it's in the dream. I walked to it and answered.
Okay.
Heard his sound's voice in the receiver. Hello, Nicolai, is that you? What are you doing there?
Whoop.
It's just a nightmare. But it wasn't the phone. It was the doorbell in the middle of the night.
Oh.
Barely able to find my way around, I dragged myself out of bed, still half asleep, and went to open the door. Don't just open the door in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
This can't be good. I found a young man wearing a uniform on my doorstep.
Are you Anakin Nikolai?
Well, yeah. He rummaged through a satchel, pulled out a small envelope. This can't be... A tiny one, actually. Didn't know... Oh, this is an invitation. Didn't know they made them that small.
Sign here. No,
He extended a clipboard to me with a piece of paper attached to it.
right here.
I casually whipped out my scribble and smirked. Should I bring you the econ too? Courier gave me a weird look, bowed deeply, and bid farewell.
Have a good evening.
This can't be good. In reality, I always
Yeah.
used simple katakana for my signature, which did of course create some problems in the legal sense, but it's generally acceptable for a foreigner. Realizing what happened didn't come right away. I
Yeah,
returned to
because
my
you
room and
can
only
get.
then realized I didn't usually receive letters, especially ones delivered by a courier. Hastily ripped the envelope open, took a small folded piece of paper, a few sentences went on it. Nikolai, we need to talk urgently. Come to the waterfront after midnight and make sure you're not followed. We'll meet on the bridge. You can...
Okay.
Okay, he just called this
Jove.
guy, and now he's getting a mysterious letter to meet at midnight?
No,
I'm sorry,
well, because
this seems...
the house wasn't there, so maybe it's on the run.
I'm finding this all suspicious. Yeah, I don't believe it either. I read the note several times. What if it was a trap? It's a trap, dude.
It is.
No, it seemed too complicated for people with that kind of power. For instance, I was home alone right now, and always, really, what stopped them from kidnapping or killing me?
True.
And the note was delivered right after my calls. That's the suspicious part, dude.
Yeah.
At midnight. What was even the time? I looked at the clock. It showed a few minutes past 11. It wouldn't take me more
So
than
you
an
have an
hour to
hour.
reach the waterfront. I almost immediately decided that I would go to the meeting simply trusting my instincts and logic. Tell someone. Don't go alone. No, I just had to decide what to do about the surveillance. You guys didn't even have to warn me. Going out somewhere at almost midnight was definitely not normal for me. But if I
Yeah.
were to do it carefully, for some reason I was confident even if I was being watched, it wasn't the same way they watched James Bond or something. From the street, everything would look as if I had already gone to sleep. I turned off the light, sat down on the bed, and waited, holding my breath, listening to the sounds coming from the street. Nothing. Or, well, nothing unusual. The first step is always hardest in situations like this. Then instincts take over. Took a few deep breaths, closed my eyes, focused on my breathing. Time to go. The door silently opened and immediately closed while I ducked into the garden. I crept to the fence. A few of the planks weren't nailed well, were easily to move aside. A moment later, I was in the alley behind the house. Didn't even have any lampposts, being just a narrow passage between two plots of land.
Huh.
That's a smart way to go. A couple
Yeah.
minutes later, I was on my way to the station, trying to avoid my usual route. Only as I approached the station did I look back for the first time. My surveillance had noticed me. They followed me to the end, giving them reason to believe they'd been found. Wouldn't do me any good. If not, then all the better. But I had reason to believe that my plan had worked, at least at this stage. Boarded the train and looked out onto the platform. All I could see were tired Japanese on their way back home after a hard day of work. Tokyo suburb welcomed me coldly with a chilly ocean breeze. I was in shopping district near a port. It was already late, so most of the stores were closed. Why didn't you choose this place, I wondered. The bridge in question was visible in the darkness a couple 100 meters away from the station. Because he's probably going to jump or he's going to push you. I don't know. Reached the place in a few minutes, but at first glance it appeared to be empty. There he is.
Nikolai.
I heard the familiar voice and Ikusen-san appeared out of the shadows.
Where you follow?
No.
Are you sure?
He looked pretty calm, which seemed strange to me. Yes, absolutely.
Good, good. I'm sorry, Nikolai. I'm sorry.
I asked with surprise.
Foreman covered this for getting cold feet. See what's come out of it?
He smiled sadly and immediately continued.
As they say, here's the game for the communists.
What are you talking about?
I thought that if I kept silent, they would leave me alone, but this turned out very different.
He just let out a heavy sigh and lit up a cigarette.
Thank God I was long prepared for it.
Called your house, your wife said you've been missing for several days.
Yes, that's true. Our phone is wiretapped and I'm hiding. My wife informed me that someone had called and I signed the card with the note.
But how did you know it was me?
Cloud display, heard of it?
No, to be honest. Yeah, back in the 80s, that's brand new technology.
Yeah.
Didn't even know where to start asking questions.
If it happened sooner or later, we have been kicked out of the project. It was inevitable.
Project?
The project is what your father and I worked at the Kobayashi Corporation.
What is this then? He raised his tired eyes to me.
I can explain it in brief, and you wouldn't understand. You can't be stupid.
I'll do my best. After all, my parents died because of this project, I responded confidently.
I'd be glad to tell you, but it's not that simple. Each of us was responsible for all part of the research and development. I was a
Physicist.
physicist, thank you, and mostly worked on the theoretical calculation. They can have a lot of application.
And what about my father?
He was a rocket engineer.
Is that so? I drawled. And here I always thought he built bridges.
And the main project is that he knew as little as the work of other departments as possible. It was their way of preserving secrecy.
That makes sense. Have each group work on something separate and don't let them talk to each other.
Yeah. I only talked to your father about work-related matters, and only when it was absolutely necessary.
Kind of work-related matters.
You wouldn't understand.
He sighed. Because, son, I'm neck deep in the shit. I want to get out. I'm not about to back down now.
You don't know what you're talking about, Nikolai. If I could tell you more, it would be greatly endanger you and everyone you hold dear.
You hold dear? He missed his cheerful face immediately came to mind.
Look at me.
Innocent grin.
I've been long ready that someone would come for me, so I ran at the first sign of danger. Right? Are you ready to do the same?
I don't know. He was definitely right about something, and until I figured out what the difference was between a resource and a human. But my father's work wasn't the only question on my agenda tonight. I grabbed that grimer. Do you know someone with a surname Winters, an American? Nisa thought a moment. Who is that?
Who is that?
So he doesn't know the Winters.
Yeah, how are you connected?
Do you know her or not?
I heard the name Winters, but I think it belonging to an adult
woman.
Okay,
so he does know the mother.
I
And how is she connected to your project?
I don't think she was any direct connection to the scientific part of the project, but she could be representing the American side.
No, he's got it.
You.
American? What American side did you just add? A terrible guess struck me.
Did you think I was the only Japanese working on the project?
I didn't think anything. I responded rudely. And does this Mrs. Winters have a connection to the death of my parents? He frowned and looked at me carefully over his glasses.
You're talking as if they were killed.
Weren't they?
Nikolai,
He got himself off mid-sentence, let out a heavy sigh and lowered his eyes.
Have no proof, but I suspected that the accident wasn't a coincidence. I couldn't tell you since it was just a guess of mine.
It doesn't matter anymore, Consent-san. What about Mrs. Winters?
I don't think so, no.
But you aren't sure.
Nikolai, why are you so interested in this woman? I'm telling you, I've never seen her, just heard the name.
It's a very personal matter.
Well, I hope you know what you're doing.
So Catherine's mother was somehow involved in all of this, but she wasn't to blame for my parents' death. That is, if I were to believe Ikasu, who really didn't know much himself. But how is all this connected to Catherine's note? Did that mean she knew something too? My entire life was a lie in a theater of the absurd. My family matters weren't known best to everyone but myself. Ikasan, everything is not that. I need time to digest it all.
I understand, by the way.
He sighed and turned away, clearly bracing himself.
I haven't told you everything about Akira Shinji. He's not dead.
I looked at him with a silent question on my face.
At the time, it seems to me like I was doing the right thing by not telling you the entire story. Not to mention your phone is well taped at the same as mine. It was taken by people from the corporation. So, in a sense, it might be a little bad.
And Mr. Karasinji, who was he?
Oh, now he has a big deal in the project and most likely knew much more than I.
And we need to find him.
That will work. It's Kobayashi Corporation, remember? It will be anyone. It could be anyone.
True. Just pause and continue to lower voice.
He may very well not be alive anymore.
But then what should we do next?
We?
He gave me a somehow fatherly look and said,
I plan to keep hiding from the corporation, and you better keep far away from it at all. Better yet, return to the Union if you can.
I can't. Can't abandon Himitsu. Not until I was sure that she wasn't involved in any of this. That she wasn't in danger.
In that case, I can only remind you to be careful as possible.
He
Damn.
doesn't know anything, really. I've heard that a little too often lately.
Perhaps the corporation will leave you alone when they realize you have nothing to offer. After all, you have no direct connection to the project.
That's true.
Sure.
Sin-san, thank you very much.
No need to thank me. I did what was right.
Will we meet again? He looked annoyed, but only for a moment.
Here.
He handed me a small piece of paper with a telephone number written on it.
Memorize, then throw away or burn the paper. Anything so long as you don't keep it. This is the phone number of my nephew. You will need to ask for Igawa-san as he's at home. You'll be told that you got the wrong number and they'll find a way to direct contact with you.
Okay, that's good. You can say on whatever happens, thank you very much. I bowed deeply.
Alright, enough now. Be careful on your way home.
He disappeared into the gloom of the Tokyo waterfront. Jeez. The next train home would only come early in the morning, so I found a phone booth and called a taxi.
Jeez.
The car was making its way through the streets of the sleepy metropolis at a steady pace, and I was trying to digest everything Ikusu had told me. But the volume of the information, the agitation, the lack of sleep made my brain incapable of anything but recalling several phrases from a conversation over and over again. Each one was important in and of itself, but made no sense when put together with the others. Got out of the taxi several blocks away from my house, returned the same way through the alleyway and the hole in the fence. I desperately needed to sleep. Those few hours in the afternoon hadn't helped at all. I felt totally beat. The house was dark and quiet, and so was the street. This time of night is the most serene and most mysterious at the same time. My inflamed imagination started to project jumping shadows into the corners and rustling noises into the kitchen. Tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow will be better. I muttered, my head hidden under the blanket. I hope so too, but this is getting dark.
My God. Yeah.
This, as I told Azura, this is not the typical love story at all.
Yeah. That's heavy. My Nico-kun.
Someone was calling me, sounding as if from another world.
Nico-kun.
The voice grew louder and more confident.
Nico-kun, you need to get up. You say you should.
Said? What did I say?
Nico-kun.
Strained and managed to open my eyes, only to see Himitsu sitting on my bed. What's the time?
Late enough to not get to school in time.
She looked at me in a sullen mood and wasn't even trying to hide it. Felt a bit better than yesterday, even though I had just woken up. Good morning. Still, I found it really hard to stand up from my bed. Himitsu remained seated, her head down. Yesterday I decided to stop lying to her, at least when it came to important things. But last night's talk with Ikusu posed even more questions. Even if I had found out about this project and the Kobayashi Corporation's dark dealings, I would have still been in danger. But the involvement of Catherine's mother radically altered the situation. Perhaps Kachi herself was in on it?
Do you want breakfast?
Himitsu asked. Yes, thank you.
Why?
He needs to tell her everything.
Yeah.
Naturally, some awkwardness, even tension remained between us after yesterday. Himitsu was cooking up something in the kitchen while I was showering, pouring as much cold water over myself as possible. Ikusu said that it'd make the most sense for me to return to the USSR. After all, I still had some relatives there, even if I hadn't spoken to them in a long while. But the KGB found me in Japan, they'd absolutely be able to reach me in the Union. Plus, I couldn't simply abandon everything here. Would living in fear and an endlessly anticipation of calamity be any better? For the first time ever, I had a clear realization there was someone to blame for my parents' death. Some very specific people with names and surnames, positions, bank accounts, even families and children of their own. I could no longer think that it was just an unfortunate accident. No. It had been meticulously planned. Those responsible had to suffer retribution. Except I wasn't sure I could deliver it alone.
Bye.
The breakfast turned out to be quite meager, not at all Himitsu's style. I was eating, staring at my plate, and she was silently looking at me. What? I asked, unable to bear her silent stare anymore.
Nothing. I'm just looking.
Yeah, right.
Nikko, what are you doing to do? What are you going to do next?
I found it weird that she said you, not we. It even made me a bit upset. As soon as I finished, we go to school.
You know what I'm talking about.
Put the chopstick aside and sighed. We already discussed this yesterday. We'll keep our heads down and attract no attention.
Do you think this is going to end that easily?
I don't know. I don't have much control over it.
Rely on blind tricks again?
What else do you propose we do? If you have any ideas, I'd be happy to hear them. Once again, I was getting worked up and venting my frustration on Himitsu. It was a foul thing to do, especially after everything that happened between us lately. Sorry, I really didn't mean to say it like that.
It's not the worst that matters.
And what? I forced out a smile, but she didn't react.
I thought about it the whole night. We need to talk to someone. Ask for help. Don't.
She was right, but for some reason I still saw the Japanese police force as more or less kanpetai? I'm not good with Russian words. It was obvious to me that they would be first and foremost defend the interests of the corporation, not Subgagians. For a capitalist country like Japan, in this particular case, the interests of Kobayashi Corporation are pretty much the interests of the nation itself.
Mm.
That makes sense. Not to mention, Soviet intelligence was already involved in this too.
Mm-hmm.
Soviet intelligence that had contacted me directly. Doubt that the police would spend much effort figuring things out before taking me in as a spy. If only it were that simple. I'm not Japanese, understand? But talk to the KGB. What do you think the shoes of people you want to that? What would you think in the shoes of the people you want me to talk to?
But you didn't do anything wrong. That's the point. Yeah.
What's wrong and who's guilty here depend on your point of view. In Kobayashi Corporation's case, I'm guilty of having the information they believe I have. To the Russians, I'm guilty of living in Japan in the first place and not working for them. While in Japanese, I'm probably guilty of the same thing as my parents, the same thing that cost them their lives.
Nikko, sorry.
Are you apologizing for Kobayashi Corporation or Japan in general?
No, but they...
Who are they and what would we accuse them of? Them who? They have neither a name nor a face. The individual people who carry out orders are just pawns. They're easily replaceable, could always be written off if one screws up. Mitsu grew even sadder.
Nikko-kun, I'm scared.
That part, she should be.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Me too. Had I always been so prone to fatalism? You should be,
yes.
though. It's bad here. After finishing breakfast, we sat there for a while, each occupied by their own thoughts. Or perhaps the same thoughts. Well, let's go, or we'll really be late. He was just nodded and stood up from the table and left for the hallway without clearing away the dishes.
Ooh.
As usual, Tokyo didn't care one bit about problems of inhabitants in general or in particular. Just a couple days ago, it seemed to me that we were about to get a proper autumn with rains, cold wind, chilly air. For some reason, today was warm and sunny, just like summer. The weather mocked me, making it clear that my problems didn't concern it one bit. You can't just do that, I exclaimed, not addressing anyone in particular, except maybe the clear blue sky.
Nikko-kun?
Yusa stopped and looked into my eyes agitatedly. Listen, how about we try to live like normal after all? I said unexpectedly, even to myself. Constantly stewing our anxiety, waiting for something bad to happen. We can't just live like that. The worst that's happened so far is my conversation with the KGB woman. Not the most pleasant moment of my life, but it wasn't fatal either.
What about the note?
God, her and that note. I shouldn't have told you about it in the first place. Yeah, and the note. Just imagine we don't know anything about any of it. That was the case just a week ago. Wasn't sure who was trying to calm down, her or myself. For the first time today, he must have smiled.
All right, I'll do my best.
That's the spirit. I grinned. Now we run. I grabbed her by the hand and rushed to school.
Yeah. Nico, good.
It was hard to say if I convinced Himitsu, but I certainly hadn't convinced myself. The first lesson already started, but Catherine was yet to show up. I guess I still found it hard to believe that she was connected to the deaths of my parents. Maybe Katya was also a victim in a sense. The only way to figure that out was to talk to her directly. I could probably even tell her about my conversation with Ikuzunis without naming names, of course. But to do that, I had to find her. I don't know if you should be doing that. Please be nice to Kayasaki for a change. He approached
Yeah.
me during the break.
Listen, Nick.
Again hesitantly.
I understand it isn't the best time, but you probably got other stuff on your mind. But I wanted to ask you about something.
Go ahead. Conversation with Kurisuke would be fun at least.
He meets Susan as a friend, Suzuhara.
For some reason he blushed, his eyes darting around the classroom as if looking for support.
Ooh.
Who?
Well, you know,
Kayasaki leaned to me and whispered.
Saya-chan.
Oh, she's got a surname too? Of course she does. Oh my god.
Stop teasing me. It's a matter of life or death. Eh? Another one.
Wait, let me guess. You want me to introduce you? I was barely holding back laughter. To be honest, I don't think she's your best choice. Try her biology teacher. She's only, what, 70? Oh, Nikolai!
I don't want anything like that.
Then why are you asking?
Because.
Kayasaki seemed to get mad and hiss.
And you call yourself a friend.
Oh, come on. I smiled in good nature and asked, still, how did she manage to catch your eye? She seems to be as far from your 2D goddesses as they come. Plus, I've talked to her a couple times and think you should know that even Imura is more cordial. By the way, Kagium was in class. Previously, I hadn't paid attention to her at all, but for class rep, she seemed to be skipping a lot. No, really, what do you see in her?
Are you going to keep making fun of me?
You started it. Well, then maybe Keizo thought Saya was his only option? In that case, my words must have stung even more. For many years now, she's seen Himitsu follow me around like a pet, God forbid me, pretty much pampering me. Kayasuki never gave me any reason to believe he was envious, but in a way, it was obvious. Any lonely guy would feel the same in his place.
Easy for you to say. You've got Himitsu-chan, Catherine-san.
Shouldn't have brought Catherine into this. Who do you think I am? I said coldly. What does Catherine have to do with her? Or do you think we should be in a relationship by default because we used to be?
Exactly! You used to! It doesn't give you the right to laugh at.
Fell silent and screwed up his face.
Whatever, forget it.
Maybe you and Saya would make a good pair. He turned away from Kaisuke with a heavy sigh and his head low. He returned to his desk. Telling me so much about this conversation would most likely be a bad idea. Though he definitely could have been more polite. You could have. What do others think, I wondered. Kaisuke was the only one who knew we used to be together. They simply weren't letting me forget about it. And now was the worst moment for it. I had more important problems. However, the tugging feeling of longing captured me with a whole renewed strength. Stop thinking about Catherine! The Mitsutu is right there! Unfortunately, human emotions work separately from logic, often even in spite of it. They work when you need them the least. How could I talk to Catherine when the only thing I was capable of thinking about was my broken heart? It was like trying to eat a kilo of oranges with a citrus allergy.
No.
Katya didn't come to the second lesson either. Yesterday she had been picked up by a car, and today she didn't show up at school at all. I was worried about her and couldn't do anything about it. The more I thought about everything that happened, the more worried I got. I was all the same as then a year and a half ago. First I had simply been shocked, broken, and crushed by her actions, but then came the anger. I blamed Catherine, even hated her. But soon enough, as typical for me, started to look for reasons in myself. No, not like that. I wasn't looking for reasons or trying to calmly analyze the situation. I was simply blaming myself. And now, too, the more I thought about it, the more I blame myself. Specifically, In the end, I couldn't bear it any longer and fled home after my second class.
Oh.
I walked the streets at measured pace, unable to calm down, as if dragging an incredibly heavy cart of feelings and worries behind me. I was most likely just afraid of what I could learn. Best case scenario, I just left for the States. Worst case,
Dead.
the dial tone on the receiver grated in my ear and no one was answering. Why did I think she'd be home? Maybe she was simply taking a walk or sitting at a cafe or... Damn it. I dialed the number I knew by heart again and again and again. But undoubtedly, the only response I got was the calm, emotionless dial tone. What if she simply didn't want to pick up? That was totally possible. Then I had to go to her. Immediately. Now. Quickly slipped on my sneakers and froze. What about my surveillance? They most likely knew much more about the Winters family than I did. But wouldn't my feverish floundering arouse fresh suspicion? On the other hand, what, I couldn't just visit a classmate? I don't want him to go to Catherine because he should be stopping all relationship with her. She's bad for him.
So stay home.
Okay, we're gonna stay home.
Just so you know, 10 minutes left.
Okay, thank you for that. I was attacked by a strange apathy. I had no strength to move or make any decisions. Any action seemed poisonless. Looking for Catherine, going to her place, things would either work themselves out or they wouldn't. I was sitting in stupor for a good half hour before someone rang the door. Maybe it was Katya? What if she came to me? I excitedly rushed to open it. Wait, he used to actually use the doorbell? It was just a doorstep. All my excitement immediately evaporated. What are you ringing for? I asked
True?
gloomily.
I don't know.
She seemed agitated. So why are you here?
Dico cold.
I mean, why aren't you at school?
I saw you leave and so I was worried.
Alright, let's go inside.
To the window, all the
I
talk
walked to
about
my room. He was to sit on the bed not too far from me and
yourself.
asked.
Did something happen? Why did you leave school? You said yourself you should act normal.
You're saying skipping school isn't normal for me? I smirked.
Nico, you know what I mean.
Yes, I knew. God damn it. But I couldn't exactly tell him his reasons. I spent the entire day thinking about Catherine and we went home to call her. Now we had seemingly just made up. I just had a panic attack. Finally came up with an answer. Wanted to be away from other people and familiar place. And here I was lying to her again. Even if it was for her own good, as I saw it.
And how are you feeling now?
Judging from her face, she believed me. Perhaps she simply couldn't imagine I would lie about this. It was about my health, after all. Better, thank you.
Should I bring you something?
He happened upon some whiskey.
Nico, I'm serious.
Everything's fine, I just needed to calm down. I approached, sat down next to her. I hope they won't punish you for skipping. They could call your home, you know. Calling mine doesn't exactly do much.
I asked to leave. I said I had a stomachache.
You got it nice.
You'd have it nice too if you thought about your future even a little.
Finally smiled. Well, that's kind of the only thing I've been thinking about lately. Music gave me a questioning look. About whether I'll have one at all. She covered my hand with hers and leaned her head against my shoulder.
Everything will be alright.
And to think that just a minute ago my mind was fully occupied by Catherine. That would mean I was cheating on her with human suit. Snickers have a Dusty, you aren't you when you're hungry. Yes, Hugh. That dream was weird. Never be chased around by a giant Snickers bar trying to eat you. It's just a bad dream. I suddenly grew scared as if seized by a real panic attack. I carefully stood up from the bed and walked across the room. If I learned something new, I'll tell you right away.
Alright.
She said seriously.
Should we eat?
Isn't it too early?
Aren't you hungry?
Not really. Maybe later. The only thing I wanted at the moment was to be alone with myself. Music kept silent for a while, then said,
Nikokun, you're withdrawing to yourself and not did something. Do you think it will make everything better? Do you think it do any good?
Not withdrawing anywhere. Although after a glance into her sad eyes, I couldn't keep lying. Fine, I am, but I need to, at least for now. Please just understand and don't argue.
can't understand what you're doing to yourself.
What am I doing to myself?
All this.
Spun uncertainly pursed her lips and turned away. And I don't understand why you don't understand. House skulls, by the
Capisci,
way.
the
Yeah, you're not
depression.
wrong,
You're
Zora.
only killing yourself.
She looked at me with a plea in her eyes. Did you
If
now?
not yourself, then at least for me.
She added in a whisper. I didn't know how to respond. Of course she was right. There wasn't even a point in arguing. My constant fights with humans, what are they all for? What was I trying to achieve? What was I trying to prove? And to who? Simply found it hard to acknowledge my own wrongs, hard to decide on a specific course of action, hard to make a choice. If only I was the only one suffering for it. I understand I do, but now is just not a good time. I need to deal with this all myself, otherwise, so we can move on with our lives.
You say we, but when is us? As in Everest
Lucy wrung her hands in pain and looked ready to burst into tears. I don't want to continue this meaningless argument because I've said everything there is to say. No, you haven't. Yeah, believe it like a complete asshole. Totally right. To agree with her now is to give
because
up
you are.
everything familiar, give up Catherine.
Like,
But I still wouldn't be able to keep my feet in both worlds. When I figure it all out, I myself lacking air. When I figure it all out, then what? What'll happen? Will everything return to normal? Was I ready to promise her that? Or would it be a lie, a false hope that end up finally breaking Mitsu? I'll figure it all out, but now I need to be alone and think.
Then I'll go.
So this guy is being chased by the KGB, the corporation, the Japanese people, and
The Americans.
And he's just more worried about his love life? Come on now, dude. Seemed that was how Abyssa wanted to end this conversation to end. No, I'll go. I want some fresh air.
He doesn't even know what he
As fresh
wants
it could
to
be in
do.
Tokyo.
I'll be waiting. Yeah, because it's really.
That's not necessary.
Maybe, but it will.
She tried to pretend everything was fine, everything was normal. I felt even more ashamed, but I really couldn't keep lying to both of them. Val, can you hit dismiss on the ads and then we'll worry about rating out?
What?
You should have on your moderator view a thing that says snooze ads.
Okay, let me see. I think I have, but I have 1 second. And
That's okay.
There.
Because I'm going to start looking for stuff as raid because it is that time.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a little clock now on my PC. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to stop here. But yeah, I agree with you. Raise everything up, else up, definitely. Save game.
Okay.
We'll just save it right there. Yes, I want to save it right there. Because it's a good time to stop where everything is, he's just fallen to pieces again, this poor man.
Yeah. My God.
So now we know he's still got he can't figure out his love life between two women. Everybody on the sun is ready for him. I don't think any American's built for it. Our knees are just built wrong.
Yeah.
So now, so it's a good place to leave. I can't believe the KGB came into it today. That was a shock.
Yeah, I didn't expect it at all.
No one expects the KGB, I guess.
The KGB who was lying, saying she was French.
Yeah, just to get him in the car and so he could get kidnapped. I mean, that's literally kidnapping. That's just no.
We only miss an Italian, a Spain guy, and someone from the Balkans. No, Balkans were Russian, but so we need an Italian and a Spain guy. We have it all.
Getting good way to put it. It's getting serial up here. That's just nuts. But okay. But anyway, thank you everyone for joining us for our every other Sunday story time. So it won't be again next week. You know, it's every other Saturday, but we definitely want to come back to this to figure out what's going on. So
because now we have to do, and now we are. I have my theories. I already say
we have theories, but we got to see when it goes down. But in the meantime, I'm going to throw you over to another chill stream. Pink Panda Bubbles is doing a chill time with Sims 4 this morning. So that'll be a nice place for you guys to relax while I go out and run errands of the stuff I got. But thank you again for joining us, Val, and I love having you here. And I stream again next on Monday. So I will
Yeah.
see you Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am going to go have some fun, well, it's not fun shopping. But look for your
Yeah.
glimmers, they're everywhere. I know things are bad, but just look and trust me. They're there. Things will make you happy,
Yeah.
including Cinder on Cacao.
Yes, man. I,
Bye.
I I could have got him too cute. Cute.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Okay. Bye.